is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. 3 deaths in Jamaica already blamed on a catastrophic Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, and it's not expected to make landfall until later this morning. The system's outer bands are lashing the island with heavy rain and destructive winds. Esther Pinnock with the Jamaica Red Cross.
She's slow and she's wide. So all areas of the island are expected to feel some impact.
Meteorologist Craig Allen.
We're talking about 175 mile per hour winds, a storm surge with seawater inundation of 9 to 13 feet, and rainfall on top of that. This would be freshwater flooding of anywhere from 20 to 40 inches of rain.
President Trump met with Japan's new prime minister in Tokyo.
I know that you will be one of the great prime ministers. I'd also like to congratulate you on being the first woman prime minister. That's a big deal.
She gifted Mr. Trump a golf putter and said she would nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize before they signed an agreement on rare earth minerals. Ahead of the president's planned meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, who's threatened to restrict access to his country's rare earths. The Trump administration plans a major shakeup at ICE.
He's back away. Sources tell CBS News as many as a dozen senior leaders in ICE offices across the country could be reassigned. Some could be replaced by current or former officials at Customs and Border Protection. The administration is frustrated with the current arrest and deportation levels and believes CPB is better equipped to meet the White House's target of 3,000 arrests per day. ICE has averaged 900 per day. Some ICE leaders believe CPB has been too aggressive, creating a lot of community backlash. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
An epic Game 3 of the World Series ended in the wee hours. CBS's Steve Kathan.
The Dodgers and Blue Jays were locked in an 18-inning, 6-hour, 39-minute struggle when L.A. first baseman Freddie Freeman came to the plate on Fox.
Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it.
The 6-5 win gives L.A. a 2-1 edge in the series. Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs and 2 doubles in the first 7 innings of the game, setting a World Series mark for extra base hits.
67-year-old Tim Andrews is back on dialysis, waiting for a human donor after doctors at Mass General in Boston removed the genetically modified Louis. We have cloudy skies, 51 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman.
Now they're trying to get the players separated now as potentially harsh words.
The Massillon football announcer during an altercation on the field between Cardinal Ritter and Massillon High School earlier this month. Now civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing 23 Cardinal Ritter parents.
When children on a football field during a contest have a heated moment, you don't have the police come and pepper spray only the predominantly black team.
The Massillon Police Department posted on Facebook that they have reviewed the incident and deemed excessive force was not used against Cardinal Ritter.
We say no to racial profiling of black high school football players ages 14 to 18.
Trump says don't take anyone's word for it, not even his. To see what happened for yourself, look at the video. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
While Cardinal Ritter has forcefully come out against the action taken against their football players, Massillon Ohio High School has not. And the police department there, as we heard, said that they believe officers pepper spraying only Cardinal Ritter players was justified. But the Cardinal Ritter parents have a different take on the incident.
It's really hard for a 16-year-old to have that type of trauma. It's just, we just need accountability and justice for these kids.
And just to hear him crying, "Mom, I can't see. And I told him, flush your eyes out. And he said that one of the coaches gave him milk and poured on his face.
Some of the parents' children have had lasting problems since the October 3rd game. This is the first time Cardinal Ritter has played Massillon High.
It's 6:05. There's a huge food drive planned at City Foundry tomorrow, just 1 week federal food assistance programs are halted because of the government shutdown.
City Foundry is having their live art market. They've been doing that, for a while, but this is the last one. And so very timely, they're going to dedicate that time to do a food and fun drive for us.
Melissa Weisler, Chief Program Officer of Operation Food Search, says inflation and government workers going without paychecks has already sent more people their way. Now, with food stamps set to temporarily stop, they are bracing for a perfect storm. If you're headed into the store and wondering what to donate, Weisler says canned chicken, diced tomatoes, beans, instant brown rice, and whole wheat pasta are most needed, along with items like deodorant, toothbrushes, and toothpaste.
A rule change could allow you to purchase and pick up marijuana from inside your vehicle.
The proposed rule would legalize car-side pickup for dispensaries in Missouri. Jack Cardetti with the Missouri Cannabis Trade Association tells KMOX they aren't concerned about people lighting up in the parking lot after purchasing their marijuana.
Consuming on the premises or on the property of a dispensary is strictly prohibited. So that cannot take place. And so that it'll be important to make sure that those rules are followed. Our patients, our customers do a great job of abiding by those laws.
He says this change could be helpful for disabled individuals who rely on medical marijuana. Tuesday is the final day the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services will take public comment. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Those prescription drug ads that show up seemingly every commercial break are pharmaceutical companies charging more for their medicines in order to pay for the spots. And should they get a tax benefit for spending money on marketing? Here's Senator Josh Hawley asking those questions.
Is it really a good idea for the American taxpayer to subsidize the television commercials of pharma companies advertising all of their overpriced drugs on TV?
Hawley says he's not even sure it's a good idea for prescriptions to be advertised to the general public, but says the tax code certainly shouldn't incentive that spending. Hawley, a Republican, is partnering with Democrat Jeanne Shaheen to end federal subsidies for drug company ads.
From the business desk sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, Clayco's former headquarters on 170 in Overland have been subleased by PennyMac Mortgage. Clayco moved its headquarters to Chicago, then consolidated its St. Louis operations to a new building in Berkeley. According to the Business Journal, the California-based PennyMac hasn't said who is moving into the 77,000 square foot building.
The Johnny Rabbit Spooktacular is taking place this morning at the Clayton Community Center. Rabbit tells us it'll feature real ghosts, maybe some in person. The free program for Oasis begins at 10:15.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's saying that, not us. We have no proof of actual ghosts.
I don't know.
Still
Johnny's been around a while. He knows.
Still ahead after traffic and weather.
Missouri wildfires scorched more than 15,000 acres this year.
Grass wildland fires at the magnitude that never seen before.
I'm Stuart McMillan, and I'll tell you about new state funding available to volunteer fire departments.
It's 6:08.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Debt payments keeping you up at night? Credit cards, medical bills, personal loans. If you owe more than $10,000 in unsecured debt, we can help you settle for less. At J.G. Wentworth, many clients cut their debt by up to 50% before fees, potentially saving thousands of dollars. Even if your credit is damaged, we can help. And remember, you don't pay us a dime unless we reduce your debt. Call 877-CASH-NOW. The call is free. The consultation is free. And the bigger your debt, the more we can help you save. Act now. If you owe $10,000 or more, call 877-CASH-NOW. That's 877-CASH-NOW. Call right now. Your path toward financial freedom starts today with J.G. Wentworth. 877-CASH-NOW. Results vary. Not all debts qualify. Debt resolution impacts credit and may increase what you owe. Average savings before fees, 43%, 25% after fees. J.G. Wentworth does not pay debts or provide legal, tax, or credit repair services.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
6:10 and time for us to get you updated on traffic and weather. Roger Brand starts us off here. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Girl, and nothing to complain about out there, Debbie. I guess it was a stall. I still see some flashing lights, but they're just, your hazard lights that are on now. This vehicle looks like it's on the shoulder. Westbound 44 as you get through Antire. So just pay attention to the right lane. Looks like it's blocked there, and that's just a little slow at that point. Northbound 55, you got that slowdown approaching 67, and another brief one building right at Highway A, but north of there it looks good all the way into the city. Rest of the highways are light and on the go. Just a heads up, they did start a new project last night at 70, the North Service Road at Forestel. The North Service Road closed just immediately west of Forestel. There's a new westbound exit west of there. Eastbound drivers that would normally use the North Service Road will have to use either eastbound 70 or the South Service Road to get into the area. And they're scheduled to close the ramp tonight. It's weather permitting. With the weather coming, I don't know if they'll do it, but they're still scheduled at last check to close the ramp from westbound 64 to westbound 70 from about 9 tonight till 5 Monday morning. But like I said, I imagine that'll get pushed back once again. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says we'll be damp today again. Cloudy, cool, bit of rain and drizzle late in the day, high 57. Periods of rain tonight, becoming breezy, low 47. Windy tomorrow and chilly with rain in the morning, tapering off in the afternoon, a high of 55. Don't worry, the sun's coming back out Thursday, Friday. We'll get highs around 60 degrees. Currently, it's cloudy, 51 in Florissant, 51 in St. Peter's, and 51 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:12 and the news continues. More than 15,000 Missouri acres burned from wildfires this year. Now the state is offering a grant to help volunteer fire departments get better equipped.
Fierce wildfires swept through parts of southern Missouri this spring. It was a combination of strong winds, 60 miles per hour gusts, and unusually dry conditions. 224 wildfires ignited in a single week, March 10th to the 16th. Missouri State Fire Marshal Tim Bean.
We're experiencing grass wildland fires at the magnitude that never seen before.
Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe announcing an investment to support Missouri's rural and smaller fire departments. The Department of Public Safety is administering grants designed to help agencies purchase new safety equipment.
That would range from like firefighter, structure firefighting gear, hand tools, hose, leaf blowers, chainsaws, things of that nature that are very commonly used, especially in the rural settings.
State Fire Marshal Bean says 300 rural fire departments are eligible for the funding.
Like in St. Francis County, Perry, Pike County, St. Francis, Washington County. Like Lake Timberline Volunteer Fire Department.
Each grant is capped at $15,000, backed by nearly $1.5 million in state funds. Interested volunteer departments with budgets under $50,000 can apply.
Traditionally, the state practices departments, and when these grants come out, to have a little buy-in. So this one is a 5% match.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Will a beloved St. Louisan return for an iconic sporting event?
Bob Costas has taken a step back since retiring from the Olympics and let his successor on the hosting desk, Mike Tirico, have the spotlight. Could Costas make a cameo coming up, though?
Not in Milan, not the Winter Olympics. With the domestic Olympics in 2028, I think that NBC will lean into some of the nostalgia of it.
Costas is no stranger to big, nostalgic, emotional events.
Assuming I'm still upright, and sometimes people can't tell when I'm upright. I'm sitting now. But if I'm still able to do it, I would imagine that I might drop by now and then in 28 in Los Angeles.
The Olympic torch has arrived in Salt Lake City, about to conclude a journey of some 13,500 winding miles through 46 states, including for the first time Alaska.
Costas had hosted every Olympic Games from 92 to 16. He told the Foul Territory podcast he's done with baseball play-by-play because he couldn't live up to his own high standards. Costas got his career started at KMOX and has called himself a St. Louisan since. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Bob was the sideline reporter on NBC the night that Kirk Gibson hit his famous Game 1 walk-off home run in the World Series against the A's, the 1988 World Series for the Dodgers. Last night, the Dodgers did it again, but 9 innings later.
The other 18-inning affair from 7 years ago. Game 3 for the Dodgers against the Red Sox. Full count on Freeman. Little delivers. Freeman, it's one high in the air. Straight away center field. Varsho at the wall. Gone! Freddie Freeman, Mr. World Series, ends the marathon at midnight. He is mobbed at home plate as the Dodgers walk it off in the bottom of the 18th inning. 6-5 the final to grab a 2-1 series lead.
You want drama? Come to Dodger Stadium. The call of the Dodgers radio network, LA 2 wins away from its 9th world championship. The Cardinals have 11, and 14 years ago today, they did this.
0-1 delivery. Here she comes. Swinging a high drive into left. Back goes to Craig. He's at the track. He has it. And the Cardinals are world champion for 2011. They came from nowhere to astound the baseball world. They win this one 6-2, and they're world champions for 2011. And they mob one another on the infield.
What a party that was at Busch Stadium and on KMOX. Mike Shannon with that historic call. The Cardinals continue on next week in their journey to win another one. Chaim Bloom, his first offseason will begin as president of baseball operations. We'll hear from him in just a bit. How do the Blues put the pieces back together? They can't keep the puck out of the net. They are struggling. Yesterday, they lost to the Penguins 6-3. Pittsburgh scored twice in the first minute of the first period. Also, early in the first period, a fan fell from the balcony at the arena there and is in critical condition, according to Pittsburgh police. The Chiefs won 28-7 over Washington. They came alive in the second half. Patrick Mahomes leads the Chiefs to a dominant victory, 25 of 34 passing for 299 yards and 3 touchdowns. One of those went to Travis Kelce, who had 6 catches for 99 yards. The Chiefs are now 5-3, and they have come alive after a rough start. They are chasing down the Broncos in the AFC West. It is a logjam there. Denver 6-2. Chargers and Chiefs are 5-3. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
In St. Louis, the weather can change in an instant. One day, you're under a thunderstorm warning. The next, it's an ice storm. Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. When weather threatens, the KMOX Storm Center has expert forecasts and live reports, here to keep you safe and informed. Don't get caught off guard. Know your weather. The KMOX Storm Center, sponsored by
Celica Heating and Cooling. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, coming to Missouri soon, December 1st. Finally, you'll be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports, and it could not come at a better time of year with football, basketball, hockey. It's all happening, and with FanDuel, tons of ways to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line, over-under, bet the spread, or look to the future. Maybe you know who the MVP is going to be or win Coach of the Year, or what team's going to win the championship. You can do that with FanDuel. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick what player's going to score the next touchdown and the one after that while the game is going on. Download the FanDuel app and get familiar with it, because the app will be live to use December in Missouri. You can see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to download the app. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:20, time for us to check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, this traffic reports the service of Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing, Debbie. And we're doing all right out there. A few more cars on the highways, but overall, not bad. They're still working with it's road work, I guess. This is hard to see in the dark, but I can see the barrels out there. It's westbound 44. I've been talking about these brief delays. They're getting a little longer as you get into Antioch. The right lane shut down through there, so westbound 44 has some congestion at that point. Eastbound 44 is not bothered by it, but it's more stop and go than it was, and the delays are obviously longer as we get more folks on the highways. Northbound 55, a little busy, approaching 67. The right lanes are slow. Butler Hill up to 270, and from Bayless up the river to Pear, it's busier as well. North 270 is a little slow down at the merge on with the 55 traffic. Otherwise, it's good to go up through Ladue out west. Southbound 61 at Highway P and at Wentzville Parkway. Seeing a couple little slow pockets for you there. Downtown, we still look good westbound, headed for the Poplar Musel Veterans Bridges. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Furnace funky?
Then make one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com. KMOX AccuWeather, cloudy, cool, and damp today. A bit of rain and drizzle on occasion, mainly later in the afternoon, the high 57. That'll evolve into rain tonight. It'll become breezy, the low 47. Windy, chilly tomorrow. Rain in the morning will taper off and end in the afternoon, high 55. Some sunshine returns Thursday. It'll be breezy and still cool, high 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cloudy and 51 degrees right now. Weather sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance with Allstate. You could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The news continues at 6:22. Hurricane Melissa expected to make landfall in Jamaica this morning as a powerful Category 5. Maximum sustained winds of up to 175 miles an hour and up to 30 inches of rain is possible. Melissa's already responsible for at least 7 deaths, 3 in Jamaica, 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic. Earl Cameron is a Jamaican resident. He's very concerned.
It's not a joke. It is very serious, guys. And it is going to be something different. The figures we think will be astronomical. Yeah, they will be hard to digest when this is over.
East St. Louis native Dawn Harper is sending updates from Jamaica. The Olympic gold medal winning track star is there on business with her husband and others.
Bring your pillow and your blanket, and they're going to give you sheets. They're going to have water for us and all that. But this our last night before we have to hunker down. So we don't know what we eat tomorrow night.
She and her team were in good spirits watching radar on their phones as Hurricane Melissa moves in.
President Trump telling Japan's new prime minister he always had a great love and respect for Japan. The president made the remark before a bilateral meeting in Tokyo. CBS News chief White House correspondent Nancy Cortez is traveling with the president.
They signed 2 agreements. The most notable one had to do with rare earth minerals and the 2 countries teaming up to extract and refine more of them, which is something that President Trump has sought with multiple Asian nations in the wake of tough new restrictions that China has threatened to impose.
The Trump administration plans a major shakeup at ICE.
He's back away. Sources tell CBS News as many as a dozen senior leaders in ICE offices across the country could be reassigned. Some could be replaced by current or former officials at Customs and Border Protection. The administration is frustrated with the current arrest and deportation levels and believes CPB is better equipped to meet the White House's target of 3,000 arrests per day. ICE has averaged 900 per day. Some ICE leaders believe CPB has been too aggressive, creating a lot of community backlash. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A lot of criticism of the renovations and destruction of the East Wing at the White House. Congresswoman Ann Wagner defending it, saying the changes were necessary. She says critics are wrong to view the historical building as untouchable because it serves a practical function.
The White House is not and cannot be a museum. It is a working space. And to think that we are now going to be able to host true events in a very large, non-taxpayer funded, I'll underscore again, non-taxpayer funded ballroom is amazing.
Wagner says she is nostalgic. She worked closely with the Bush White House.
I have certainly spent time in the East rooms of the White House, but they were not workable. It was a museum, and it's time to have real workspace.
Wagner tells 97.1 she's glad private philanthropy is paying for the new ballroom. CBS's Michael George now on a new study on the effectiveness of the COVID vaccine.
Last year's COVID vaccine was effective at preventing the virus, but its effectiveness waned over time. A study published in JAMA looked at the 2024-2025 version of the vaccine. It found that about 4 weeks after taking the shot, the vaccine was 44% effective. But about 5 months after getting the vaccine, its effectiveness dropped to 16%.
If you're the kind of person who counts your daily steps, a study in the UK finds that it's best to take one long walk daily rather than taking multiple short walks throughout the day. People who walked 15 minutes or longer daily had a lower risk of death and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease than people who took shorter walks, even if the overall number of steps they took was the same.
Your body clock matters for heart health. That's the message from the American Heart Association. With a new scientific statement the group has put out about avoiding cardiovascular issues down the line.
The American Heart Association is spotlighting the potential health consequences of regular disruptions to the body's internal clock or natural circadian rhythm.
For optimal health, what we want is all our internal clocks to be synchronized with each other as well as with the external world or the clock on the wall. And any disruption to these clocks has been associated with impairments in our cardiovascular and metabolic health.
Kristen Knudsen with the Northwestern University School of Medicine says disruptions could lead to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease. Matt Piper, CBS News.
It is 6:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. Our St. Louis Baseball Cardinals reset last season. Now they're planning for the long term. Have you thought about a long-term plan for your family? A will, a trust, powers of attorney? Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano can guide you with a personalized estate plan. Sign up for our free webinar on our website, yourestateMatters.com. Learn more about estate planning, get some answers, list your questions, then schedule a consultation. You can plan for your family, your favorite charities, taxes, your long-term care, and even your pets now, before the courts do it for you later. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
From your friends at Lombardo Homes, congrats to Dave Glover and the DGS Show on 25 years of building something great. Thanks for keeping St. Louis entertained, informed, and laughing all along the way.
At 6:30, cloudy, 51 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling westbound on 44, the delays are getting longer, almost midway between 141 and Antire now. The right lane's closed for road work westbound 44, and so it's starting to really back up there. We're getting more volume at other places, too. Eastbound Highway 30, approaching Mauer up the hill to 270. That looks pretty congested. Northbound 55, a slowdown into 67. Little busy around McNutt, not that bad. And then Butler Hill up to 270 is heavy. Union Road overpass up to Weber, and then there's a little slowdown at Holly Hills after that. North 270 from 55, still looking good till you get to about Doherty Ferry up to Manchester. Clayton Road headed up towards 64. Those right lanes are starting to bog down a bit. Southbound 61, almost midway between W and P now, is where we're seeing slow going down through the Wentzville Parkway area. 64 between Prospect and Lake St. Louis Boulevard is kind of busy as well. Northbound 21, you've got backed up traffic from Hageman headed up to Wells right now. It's stop and go. Lee Ferry at Merrimack Bottom. There was a report of a crash downtown. It looks like Route 3 at Monsanto, a train crossing northbound Route 3 is jammed at Queenie. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, there's a little bit of rain falling to the northwest of us, just northwest of Troy. Otherwise, we're looking at a damp day today. A bit of rain and drizzle late in the day. It'll be light, a high of 57 degrees. Cloudy today, cloudy tonight, breezy, low 47. Tomorrow, windy, chilly, rain in the morning, tapering off in the afternoon, and a high of 55 degrees. Currently, it's 51 downtown.
Boeing machinist strike continues after they rejected the latest contract offer.
Striking union machinists outside Boeing headquarters tell me that the latest vote they held on Sunday is more of a reflection of fatigue from being out at the picket lines than this offer from Boeing being substantially better. Something that one union machinist told me that he hopes could be a motivating factor for them to dig in their heels a little longer is the quarterly reports coming up later this week.
All the investors, they're going to see, hopefully that this has done a lot of financial impact to Boeing.
The union rejected the latest vote from Boeing with a vote of 51 to 49 against. Outside Boeing headquarters, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Some drivers are having trouble with changes meant to make a quiet stretch of South Kings Highway more of a city street and less of a suburban speedway.
You have two lanes, and then people that are so used to being able to move into that lane to make a left turn or a right turn, now they're running into that concrete.
The city is making improvements along 30 miles of roads to cut down on the number of crashes. Some of the changes around Kings Highway in Christie include new traffic lights, wider crosswalks, a bike lane, and a center turn lane with medians. It also came with a repaving of the stretch. Chantal Incandela of TrailNet.
When a street is open and there's several lanes, it says go fast. It's treated like a highway. It's a win-win for all of us. It might slow you down a little bit, but I think that's worth it if it means saving lives and keeping people safe.
There's a St. Louis Children's Hospital coming to Wentzville.
The thing that I hear the most when I work at this location is there anything closer? I really don't want to drive all the way out to town and country. I don't want to drive a half an hour. We have patients that come from Troy. We have patients that come from even farther than that.
BJC healthcare nurse practitioner Jenny James telling Wentzville aldermen about the distances families right now have to go to Progress West Hospital or for specialists to town and country or into the city. The planned 134,000 square foot facility on Wentzville Parkway will include pediatric urgent care, same-day surgery, imaging, and more. Wentzville council members gave initial approval to the rezoning at their latest meeting.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:34, your Money Minute next.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Redbirds Hall of Famer, Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, Izzy, what's going on, man? Looks kind of like you got something on your mind.
Well, Eddie boy, I'm thinking you may need to change the name of your place from Fast Eddie's to $5 Eddie's.
$5 Eddie? Man, why in the world would I call it $5 Eddie?
Well, I was in there the other day and bought myself the coldest beer I've ever had in my life, and I gave the guy $5. And then I went over and got some of those huge cold water peel and eat shrimps, and I gave her $5.
Well, I never really thought about that. There's a lot of $5 going on in there.
And then I went back up and got one of those huge Fast Eddie cheeseburgers, and I gave them $5 again.
Man, definitely has a ring to it. I think there's a lot of $5 going on.
Yeah, and I had about $100 worth of good time.
Well, that's good to hear, and it's easy to do with live music 7 days a week and a big old party going on that big, beautiful outdoor patio.
Well, like Mr. Shannon always says, if you're 21 and in the mood, head on over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton, Illinois, and maybe take a selfie on that old Harley Davidson of mine.
Who else has got a Cardinal Hall of Famer's Harley Davidson sitting out on the patio for some selfies?
Only Eddie boy.
It's 6:35. We'll check traffic and weather for you in 5 minutes. It's time now for your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The parent company of CBS, MTV, and Nickelodeon will begin a major round of layoffs today. Sources tell Bloomberg Paramount Skydance will cut about 1,000 jobs. The company was created from the merger between Paramount Global and Skydance Media in August, and it's moving quickly to restructure the business. Checking on your money, S&P and Dow futures are relatively flat this morning as investors look to the Federal Reserve. The central bank is expected to deliver a second straight interest rate cut tomorrow. Yesterday, stocks finished the day at an all-time high. The S&P 500 soared 1.2%. And one of the world's biggest maker of shots expects flu vaccination rates to fall 12% this year. Plus, CSL sees a 14% drop for people ages 65 and older compared to last year. The last flu season was, by some measures, the worst in 15 years. As many as 1.1 million Americans were estimated to have been hospitalized. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Hold the onions. For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. Into 11/1, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This November, the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra presents Benjamin Britten's War Requiem, a powerful, haunting piece that reflects on war and peace across generations. Led by music director Stéphane Deneuve, the SLSO and St. Louis Symphony Chorus are joined by world-renowned vocalists and the St. Louis Children's Choirs. November 7th and 9th. Tickets at slso.org.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com. or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Fridays mean football. From a zoo to the NFL, we've got your weekend covered.
All three, ready?
It's Friday football on KMOX.
It's 6:39. Police are investigating a burglary that took place early this morning at Crown Guns on Old Highway 94 in St. Charles. Officers responded around 4 a.m. to the scene where the front entrance glass was smashed. Fox 2 says multiple firearms were stolen from the store.
The former Illinois sheriff's deputy charged with first-degree murder of 36-year-old Sonia Massey took the stand in his own defense yesterday. Sean Grayson told jurors he feared for his life when he fatally shot Massey in her own home. Police body camera footage from other officers showed Massey holding a pot of boiling water.
The Honduras man charged in the drunk driving crash that killed St. Louis City police officer David Lee is expected to plead guilty today. Court documents say 24-year-old Ramon Chavez Rodriguez was behind the wheel when Officer Lee was struck at a crash scene on I-70 in September of last year.
East of St. Louis, the Clinton County Sheriff's Office and Illinois Conservation Police are looking for whoever is shooting deer from a roadway. Several deer have been found in multiple locations in the Boulder area. Crime Stoppers reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest and prosecution.
Let's take you to Roger Brand now, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got our roadwork issues on westbound 44, Tom. This traffic report service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Right lane's closed. They were trying to get it wrapped up a few minutes ago. I was just trying to check to see if they've gotten it all cleared, but the delays aren't quite as bad. Yeah, it looks like they may be picking up the barrels. I'm seeing the flashing lights closer to my vantage point now, so it should be getting better there. On northbound 270, you're slow from Tesson Ferry up through Gravois, north of 44 to Manchester. Clayton Road up through Ladou's all busy. Northbound Tesson Ferry from Hageman up through Wells looks pretty congested. North 55 a little slow at 67 at McNutt. The right lane's north of Butler Hill. Union Road overpass up to River de Pere. There's congestion there. Out to the west, southbound 61 is bogged down about midway between W and P down onto 64. Through almost Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Eastbound 70, a little slow passing Highway A. South 270, Olive down through Ladue is busy. Downtown westbound 64, just approaching the Poplar heavy. And northbound Route 3 still a backup through Monsanto because of a recent train. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg, what is the latest with this weather?
The weather is still going to be wet. In fact, we're not expecting another slug of pretty steady rain tonight into tomorrow morning before it moves away tomorrow afternoon from a storm rolling by to our south. Ahead of it, just going to be overcast, gray, cool today. A bit of rain or drizzle on occasion, most likely waiting until this afternoon. Our high temperature only gets to about 57, 58. Then that rain tonight, the breeze picks up the low 47. A breezy, if not windy day tomorrow. Chilly rain in the morning will taper off and then move out in the afternoon, the high 55. We could get a half an inch to maybe close to an inch of rain from this, so much needed rain at that. Behind it, we do dry out, and we see some sunshine Thursday. It's not going to be warm, only 58, near 60 with sunshine and some clouds Friday. Saturday, clouds break for some sun, brisk and chillier, the high only 52. It is 52 right now at St. Peter's and in Florissant, cloudy and 53 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:43. No splash pads or pickleball courts at St. Charles County's newest proposed park. Instead, the plan is to preserve a 785-acre wetland as a natural space for the public to enjoy, the result of a unique deal between the county and the nonprofit Great Rivers Habitat Alliance. Assistant Director of Administration Brian Ludwig says the goal is to preserve both the land and open it up to new users.
When we started talking, Great Rivers had some needs, and we obviously wanted to preserve the confluence. And so we started talking about putting in walkways, observation areas, and partnering with the Department of Conservation to do educational hunts to attract hunters that aren't necessarily involved in the sport right now.
The plan is to protect what officials call a gem of a property. The county council did a first reading of the proposal for the new park last night.
No splash pads there, but the healing of divisions continues at the Vatican as Pope Leo XIV allows former Cardinal Raymond Burke to celebrate the Latin Mass at St. Peter's Basilica, something that no high-ranking cardinal dared to do while Pope Francis was pontiff. Here is KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer.
Traditionalists in the church praise the about-face and see it as a possible sign of change. Pope Francis had greatly restricted the use of the Latin Mass, saying it had become a source of division in the church. AP Vatican correspondent Nicole Winfield.
Pope Leo XIV, though, gave his explicit permission for this Mass to take place, and several thousand people participated. It was standing room only in the Basilica.
Many in attendance expressed hope that in the future they would be able to celebrate the Latin Mass more widely under the new Pope. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the KMOX archives, on this day in 1958, that's 67 years ago, Cardinal Angelo Roncalli of Venice was elected Pope. He took the name John the 23rd. Cardinal Nicola Canali made the announcement in Latin at the Vatican.
Sante Romane Ecclesiae Cardinale Roncalli.
Pope John the 23rd's reign was short, lasting less than 5 years. He died of stomach cancer in 1963 at the age of 81.
14 years ago today, the Cardinals did it. They finished the deal. They won the World Series, and this is how it sounded.
0-1 delivery. Here she comes. Swinging a high drive into left. Back goes to Craig. He's at the track. He has it, and the Cardinals are world champion from 2011.
Mike Shannon with that historic call on KMOX. Shannon in that small club of players who grew up here and won a world championship. And boy, was he excited. What a great call that was. What a great moment that was. Here's another member of that club, the World Series MVP, David Freese.
This means everything. Just from the beginning, all this, getting drafted, and then the Cardinals seeing something in me, and it working out for me to get traded over here, and just the excitement that my friends and family and everybody around me we've had this whole ride. This team deserves this, and this organization is top notch. And but these fans, you got to give these guys credit. They're unbelievable, and they are the best fans in baseball. This is definitely a dream come true.
Yeah, it gives you chills. That was an unbelievable time. Cardinals winning their 11th World Championship there. The Dodgers are 2 wins away from their 9th.
The other 18-inning affair 7 years ago. Game 3 for the Dodgers against the Red Sox. Full count on Freeman. Little delivers. Freeman, it's one high in the air. Straight away center field. Varsho at the wall. Gone! Freddie Freeman, Mr. World Series, ends the marathon at midnight. He is mobbed at home plate as the Dodgers walk it off in the bottom of the 18th inning. 6-5 the final to grab a 2-1 series lead.
The call on the Dodgers radio network. The Dodgers and Blue Jays go at it in Game 4 tonight. Shohei Ohtani, who hit 2 home runs last night, is the starting pitcher for the Dodgers tonight. A pair of games last night, one on KMOX. The Chiefs, a 28-7 win over the Commanders, and the Blues lost to the Penguins in Pittsburgh. Final there was 6-3. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler and Dr. Adam Voss of the Audiology Center. When was the last time you really enjoyed a conversation without straining to hear?
Charlie, so many people think hearing aids just make things louder.
But that's old technology. Today's hearing aids do so much more.
Exactly. With the dual chip technology, our hearing aids actually separate the speech from the background noise.
Which means at a noisy restaurant, you'll hear your friends and family, not the clinking dishes.
And the best part, your brain doesn't have to work overtime trying to fill in the blanks.
So that keeps your mind sharp, your conversations easy, and your relationships stronger.
Because hearing well isn't just about sound, it's about staying connected.
Thanks, Doctor. Call the Audiology Center today to schedule your annual hearing evaluation. Don't miss another moment. Call 636-441-7470 or visit the audiologycenterstl.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
St. Louis, fall is finally here and back with everything you love about the holiday season. Trans-Siberian Orchestra brings the Ghosts of Christmas Eve to Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. For more information, kingmox.com/events.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:50. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey. That is Tom Ackerman, and Roger Brand joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they got all their road work picked up on westbound 44 now, Debbie, so that's good news. This traffic reports service in McKelvey Home, so it's clear sailing through there. Seeing a bit of volume, though. Northbound 141 from Hawkins up to 44 in that general vicinity. Pretty busy right now. Northbound 21 backed up into 141, and then from about Hageman up to Wells is a pretty solid bumper-to-bumper jam. A little slow down north 55. Approaching 67, you're on the brakes. Bayless up to River to Pear, north 270, north of 55, up to 44, and Big Bend up to Manchester, all slow. And then it's a little slow from 64 into the work zone at Ladue. South 270 approaching Olive down to 64 is heavy. Southbound 61, better, but it's still slow from Highway P all the way to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. 70, a little busy at A, at Bryan Road, and east of K into TR Hughes, a couple of the spots there. Downtown, westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplars heavy. Northbound Route 3 pockets from Queenie up to the bridge. We had a recent train at Monsanto. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Weather's good today if you like cloudy, damp, and a bit of rain and drizzle. Mainly late in the day, though, is when we're going to get that rain. It won't be heavy. High 57, says Joe Lundberg. Tonight, periods of rain becoming breezy, low 47. Tomorrow, much of the same, just a little more windy, with rain in the morning tapering off in the afternoon, a high of 55. And then Thursday, more sun than clouds, breezy, high 58. Friday's nice, sunny, partly cloudy, and a high of 60 for Halloween. Right now, it's cloudy, 51 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. Experts are concerned that AI is taking sexuality too far. KMOX virtual consumer editor Megan Lynch explains.
People aren't just viewing AI-generated porn, they're participating virtually.
They are now able to see themselves if they would like to, which does something different psychologically, right? If they want to put themselves in the content. People don't realize, but people are doing that, right? So they'll put themselves in this video with a celebrity or something. So that's going to do something different psychologically than seeing two strangers.
Omni Miranda Martone, founder and executive director of the Sexual Violence Prevention Association, is concerned about people who want a new thrill every time and how that could escalate to violent AI-created fantasies that shatter cultural norms.
Experts tell KMOX they're also concerned about how easy it is for kids and teens to access AI-generated sexual content. Learn more this morning at 8:10.
A media expert challenging teachers to do more than just try to bust students for using AI on assignments.
We as educators have to up our game. We have to figure out ways to redo our assessments and assignments in a way that the students won't necessarily use AI to do. And that's a lot of work.
Webster University instructor Julie Smith says the main challenge for most teachers is finding enough time to learn how to use AI tools themselves.
We get an extra hour of sleep this weekend. Sleep expert Dr. Neil Walia from UCLA says there are more pros than cons to daylight saving time.
Essentially,
puts us in rhythm with the sun. Our circadian rhythm is our own biological clock.
We go to daylight savings time at 2 a.m. Sunday.
And some Missouri realtors say the Federal Reserve's September interest rate cuts has motivated some home buyers. Realtor Brian Jared tells Missouri Net some are comfortable with the current rates.
Others are finally saying it's close enough to where I need to make that move. As that gap gets closer, they can justify giving up that low interest rate, going a little bit higher if they can do it. So that's why it's so important for those rates to come down. But that's where we're seeing a lot of the movement.
Missouri home sales are up nearly 7% over 1 year ago, with just over 6,500 homes selling in September. The Missouri Realtors September report lists the median sale price at just under $280,000, up nearly 4% from a year ago.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
I'd love to be your beck and call girl, but you're a rich, good-looking guy. You could get a million girls free.
That was the breakout for Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. She is 58 today. Happy birthday also to
Everything I ever wanted.
that guy can play the guitar right there. Brad Paisley is 53 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday to Neil Wisman from Mom and Dad, Georgia Doherty, Marcy Darby, Velma Widener. Bev Doherty is celebrating today, and happy 30th wedding anniversary to Jane and Peter Reese.
This is the best birthday ever.
Gamma Tree Experts. They have been in business since 1954. How about that? 1954. That would make them, 71 years old. And when you're in business for that long, you have earned trust. You have shown your customers your integrity, your professionalism, the quality of work. They've been doing it for that long. Frank Gamma started it way back when. His sons, Tim and Tom Gamma, have taken it to new heights, and this has been a wonderful family tradition for many years. Gamma Tree Experts. I saw Gamma working on a home not far from our house just last week after they worked on our home and took down a tree the prior week. They work on country club grounds. They work on traffic areas for municipalities. They do it all. They're the best in town. Gamma Tree Experts, gammatree.com. When you need tree work, when you need tree care, you turn to Gamma Tree Experts. Everybody knows that. Their vehicles are all over town. Their experts are all over town. Horticulturists, urban foresters. Number one in town is Gamma Tree Experts. And when it comes to storm damage, 24-hour line, 314-725-6159. 314-725-6159. Gamma Tree Experts, gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey Dave, it's Tamara, the flavor temptress, and your good friend from Clementine's Ice Cream. I just wanted to say congratulations on 25 years. Not only are you the sexiest man in daytime radio, but you're probably the only man with the best looking feet. Here's to the next 25. Cheers to you, my friend.
This special alert is for all Americans who own a vehicle. If you have a warranty that's about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, this message is for you. It's time to stop worrying about future car repairs today. Your vehicle is essential, but unexpected breakdowns can derail your plans and your wallet. It's time to future-proof your ride with CarShield. CarShield offers a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that saves drivers thousands from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine if your engine quits or your transmission fails. You could pay a fraction of the repair cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, and to give you even more peace of mind, drivers who activate today also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Don't wait for a breakdown to drain your savings. Future-proof your car with CarShield today and drive with confidence. Call CarShield for your free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We got trouble now, Tom, on North 270. We have a crash. It looks like it's in the left lane. North 270 at 44. EMS on the way. Traffic's bogged down to about the Sappington Road overpass on northbound 270 and 47 at 61. Report of an injury crash as well. Next update at 7:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Tuesday, October 28th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
Parents calling a well-known civil rights attorney after their students are pepper sprayed. I'm Maria Akina with the story.
I'm Tom Ackerman.
I'm Sean Malone. A new rule change could allow for car-side pickup for marijuana purchases in Missouri. I've got that story coming up.
Mammoth Hurricane Melissa approaching Jamaica, where at least 3 deaths are already blamed on the storm.
President Trump signs a trade deal and meets with U.S. troops in Japan.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Another gray day today with clouds, even a bit of rain and drizzle, mainly this afternoon, high 57.
It took 18 innings to decide Game 3 of the World Series. We'll have it for you, and this is also the anniversary of the Cardinals winning the World Series. We'll have it at 7:15.
America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A catastrophic Category 5 Hurricane Melissa is bearing down on Jamaica, where it's expected to make landfall in a few hours.
We're all buttoned down and locked up. The thing that concerns us the most is mostly just the wind and the rain.
Correspondent Jason Allen is in Kingston.
The city of Kingston is starting to experience what's a tropical storm strength part of Melissa. So the winds have really picked up in the last few hours. We're kind of in a protected area right here. We have rain that is starting to come down all across the city. We have been watching right now, kind of waiting for that next burst of wind that is going to knock out the power.
Those winds swirling at up to 175 miles an hour. President Trump has met with Japan's new prime minister and brought her along on a visit to U.S. service members aboard the USS George Washington. While he was there, he threatened to expand deployment of federal forces back home.
We have cities that are troubled. We can't have cities that are troubled. And we're sending in our National Guard. And if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard because we're going to have safe cities.
The president and the prime minister signed an agreement to work together to extract critical rare earth minerals. The government shutdown has entered day 28, and problems are expanding at airports.
FlightAware counted more than 3,700 delays yesterday as more air traffic controllers and TSA agents opted to stay home rather than work without pay. Oksana Kelly is a TSA agent in Orlando.
If I have nowhere to leave my kids, how am I going to come to work?
Nick Daniels with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association says the job is stressful enough without having to worry about personal finances.
Which makes this system less safe every day that this shutdown continues.
Many air traffic controllers will miss their first paychecks today. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Amazon's making way for investments in AI with job cuts. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
Amazon is planning to lay off around 30,000 of its corporate employees. The company has more than 1.5 million staffers globally. Roughly 350,000 hold corporate positions.
History made at Dodger Stadium overnight.
11:50 in Los Angeles. Furman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes me.
Freddie Freeman's walk-off home run in the 18th inning lifted LA to a 6-5 win over Toronto in Game 3 of the World Series on Fox.
I was just trying to get on base against a tough lefty sinker baller with a hard curveball. I was just trying to get on, but got to a 3-2 count and was able to put a good swing on it.
Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. Game 4 is tonight in LA. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Cloudy sky, 51 degrees downtown at the Arch. It's 7:04. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey.
We're here with the parents of the players of Cardinal Ritter football team who were racially profiled.
Well-known civil rights attorney Ben Crump representing 23 Cardinal Ritter parents following a football game earlier this month between Massillon, Ohio High School and Cardinal Ritter, where an altercation broke out after the game.
Ben Crump says the video shows Massillon, Ohio police using excessive force by pepper spraying only the Cardinal Ritter students.
There's no way to try to justify using chemical agents on 14, 15, 16-year-old children.
The Massillon police posted a Facebook statement 4 days after the incident saying that Cardinal Ritter players ignored repeated orders to leave the field. Massillon police then say, after careful review, they have determined officers operated within policies for use of force. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Some parents of the Cardinal Ritter players want to see some form of justice.
My focus is on my son and his teammates on mental health, ensuring that they have the resources that they need to be able to get over this.
Seeing my son there unable to protect himself and me not being able to protect him.
Mom, they sprayed us. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared.
When I answered the phone, he didn't say mama. He was just crying. He was just screaming and crying and saying, Mama, what do I do?
Parents say neither Massillon school representatives nor Massillon police have reached out to them.
With the government shutdown set to halt food assistance programs next week, a local nonprofit is desperately in need of some help. Operation Food Search is holding a special food drive Wednesday night at City Foundry in Midtown. What do they need most?
You know, canned vegetables, canned fruits, canned protein like chicken or tuna. Pop-top cans are always awesome and appreciated because not everybody has a can opener.
She says there are 650,000 Missourians on food assistance, in addition to government workers going without pay, tornado victims, and those just struggling with high inflation. You can drop off donations from your car at the roundabout off Van Deventer between 5:30 and 8:30.
5 years after the first legal sale in Missouri, there could soon be a new way to purchase marijuana.
A new proposed rule could allow car-side pickup for marijuana in a dispensary's parking lot. Jack Cardetti with the Missouri Cannabis Trade Association says this could be a game changer for those who use marijuana for medical purposes.
Especially those that have some physical limitations, being able to go through the dispensaries and access, legal cannabis that way. And so we think that this is a really good additional point of access that's going to be safe.
Tuesday is the final day public comment will be taken by the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It seems you can't watch traditional television anymore without getting hit with at least one advertisement for a prescription drug, although that's true of streaming channels as well. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley says pharma companies are then allowed to deduct those marketing expenses off their taxes, something he doesn't think should be legal.
I just think we ought to end that. I mean, we ought to say, listen, if you want to advertise on TV, which I'm not sure is a great idea anyway, but putting that to one side, if you want to advertise direct to consumer, that's fine. You do that on your own dime. Why are we subsidizing you? I just think that's insane.
Hawley, during a Senate hearing about a drug discount program, also criticized pharmacy benefit managers for what he says is driving consolidation in the industry and almost always leads to higher prices for consumers. He and Senator Elizabeth Warren are co-sponsoring a bill to ban PBMs from owning pharmacies.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Kids in St. Charles County needing medical specialists from Children's Hospital aren't going to have their parents drive to Town and Country or the Central West End anymore. BJC is planning a special care facility in Wentzville. BJC East Region President Joan Magruder.
It will include a same-day surgery, an urgent care, advanced imaging, a range of clinical services by our partners, Washington University School of Physicians, and something that we think is quite unique to this region, something called a Young Athlete Center.
The 3-story facility will be located on Wentzville Parkway. Wentzville aldermen gave initial approval to the development. Right now, Children's Hospital does have a small presence at Progress West Hospital, but this new standalone facility will bring specialty care that previously hasn't been in the St. Charles area.
We're going to get you traffic and weather, so stick around for that, and then more on AI and ghosts. It's 7:09.
Hey guys, Glover here with my good friend John Moriarty. John and I have been friends and business partners for years now. He is the principal at E3 Consultant Group, and he is back in the DGS fold. So John, introduce yourself to the listeners.
I am so happy to be back and also happy to talk about our firm, E3. We have over 70 advisors, Dave, now in multiple cities, working with our clients on the wealth, tax, insurance, asset protection, business consulting side. One of my biggest passions right now is working with business owners and trying to help them reduce their tax liability, improve their cash flow for future generations.
I've known John for years and years and years now. John is a good guy, very smart, excellent pitcher in baseball. That means a lot to me. You have
those days are long gone.
You have a new book out.
We do have a new book out. It's called The Entrepreneur Playbook, written for business owners that have an entrepreneurial mindset. And the book should be dropping on Amazon probably in the next 30 days. And we've got white papers that are supporting it. A lot of that information is going to be on our website at e3wealth.com. But the key thing to me, Dave, is we try to keep creating educational tools for business owners, individuals, families, so that they can protect the purpose of their money.
So whether you are interested in classic personal retirement, business growth, or just an overall tax strategy, reach out to my friend John at e3wealth.com.
Explore passion and romance as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra performs two of the most exhilarating pieces in orchestral music. Violinist Nikolai Shep-Schneider showcases his virtuosity as he soars through Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto. And music director Stefan Deneuve leads the SLSO in Rachmaninoff's breathtakingly beautiful Second Symphony. Experience this unforgettable performance November 1st and 2nd. Tickets available at slso.org.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Roger Brand, what's the latest overhead door company at St. Louis Traffic Center?
Well, we've had some crashes on 270, Tom. North 270, they're still working the one in the left lanes at 44. Traffic's pretty much a solid jam back at 55 right now. In the South County area, other than that, you've got backed up traffic, or at least slow traffic. Northbound 55 approaching 67. A up to McNutt. It's a little busy at spots at Highway Z. And it's bogged down again from Bayless up to about Loughborough. We have a stall at the end of the ramp from northbound 21 on to 141. That's why northbound 21's jammed there. Then from Hageman up to Wells, we were backed up. I believe we had a crash in that area as well. They cleared a crash south 270 near Ladue. South 270's backed up 364 most of the way to Olive. Then it just busy down to 64 after that. Southbound 61 from Highway P down onto 64 through 364 at Winghaven. You've got heavy traffic. Clarkson at Timberlake. Eastbound 70 a little slow at Wentzville Parkway and right around Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Next update is 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, cloudy, cool, and damp today. A bit of rain and drizzle on occasion, mainly later in the afternoon, the high 57. That'll evolve into rain tonight. It'll become breezy, the low 47. Windy, chilly tomorrow. Rain in the morning will taper off and end in the afternoon, high 55. Some sunshine return Thursday. It'll be breezy and still cool, high 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is cloudy and 51 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis.
It's 7:12. The lightning-fast advancement in generative AI has led to an explosion of AI-created sexual content.
I think that we are all so overstimulated all the time that we're constantly looking for that new thing.
Dr. Karen Stewart is a clinical psychologist specializing in sexual dysfunction and porn addiction. Like many other experts, she's concerned people will take AI sex too far.
The honest answer is I hope not. I would hope that people can have that break of reality and fantasy to know that you cannot push yourself upon somebody without consent.
Experts have increasing concerns that human beings are turning to AI chatbots instead of real people, and that could impact healthy sexual interactions. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Next hour at 8:10, we'll take a look at how AI-created sexual content could impact kids and teens.
When it comes to the use of artificial intelligence in the classroom, one media expert says teachers can either be monitors or mentors.
If you choose to be a monitor as an educator, you're going to be really frustrated.
Webster University instructor Julie Smith says educators should instead help students navigate AI.
AI is a part of the world. We want our students to be future ready, right? And so we want them to know how to use this stuff and know how to use it well and ethically.
Smith adds the challenge for many teachers is finding the time to learn how to use AI platforms themselves.
Is there a difference between a gun and a bag of chips? An AI-based system apparently doesn't think so.
The OmniAlert AI gun detection system alerted police in Baltimore County, Maryland this month that a student at a high school had a weapon in his backpack. Body camera footage obtained by CBS News shows police with guns drawn detaining the student.
Keep your hands on your head. Keep walking towards me.
They searched the student and his backpack.
Do you have a gun on you? No. What? Do you have anything blue that looks like a gun?
And were stunned to find just a bag of Doritos.
I guess just the way you guys were eating chips, Doritos, or whatever, it picked it up as a gun. That's all.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Let's take a look back, and then we'll take a look forward. Here we go, 14 years ago.
0-1 delivery. Here she comes. Swinging a high drive into left. Back goes to Craig. He's at the track. He has it, and the Cardinals are world champion from 2011. They came from nowhere to astound the baseball world. They win this one 6-2, and they're world champions for 2011. And they mob one another on the infield.
Mike Shannon with the call 14 years ago today. The Cardinals won their 11th World Championship, and on the podium, along with his winning teammates, remember how impactful he was, Lance Berkman.
What is it like to finally reach the Holy Grail? I mean, it's hard to put into words. It's exhilarating. The fans make it extra special. This team is the greatest I've ever played on. I mean, it's just a great group of guys. I've enjoyed myself immensely here in St. Louis and couldn't think of a better ending.
You're a happy-go-lucky guy, but at any point over the last 2 months or even the last 24 hours, did you think this team was going to fall short?
We just kept playing. We try not to think about that. Obviously, we've been down. We didn't have a great regular season until the last month. We put it together, had a great postseason run, and here we are, world champions.
Was it as fun to play in this series as it was to watch?
Fun may not be the right word, but it's fun now.
Lance Berkman, congratulations. Put your hands on that one if you want it.
Lance Berkman and the world champion St. Louis Cardinals, their 11th world championship, second most all time. The Yankees have the most at 27, but there are some teams on the Cardinals' heels. The Red Sox have won 9. The A's have won 9. They've been sitting on 9 since 1989. And the Dodgers have won 8. Here we go. Last night on Fox and on the Dodgers radio network here, 18th inning.
The other 18-inning affair from 7 years ago. Game 3 for the Dodgers against the Red Sox. Full count on Freeman. Little delivers. Freeman gets one high in the air. Straight away center field. Varsho at the wall. Gone! Freddie Freeman, Mr. World Series, ends the marathon at midnight. He is mobbed at home plate as the Dodgers walk it off in the bottom of the 18th inning. 6-5 the final to grab a 2-1 series lead.
Unbelievable baseball game. Game 4 is tonight at Dodger Stadium with LA up 2-1. Chiefs won on KMOX, beating Washington 28-7. Blues lost again. They fell at Pittsburgh 6-3. Also a fan tumbled from the balcony, is in critical condition. That happened in the first period of that game. We'll have a report on that at 7:45. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction, 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
7:20. This is Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand, who joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we continue to have troubles out there, Debbie, unfortunately. If you're on northbound 270, of course, they're still working that crash in the left lanes at 44. Traffic's at a standstill pretty much all the way back at 55, just crawling up to that point. Northbound 55 delays into 67, past Highway A, a little busy at Z, and then a new crash now. This one looks like it's in the center of the highway, North 55 at Bayless, one of the vehicles sideways in the roadway. Only a jam back to Union right now, but emergency crews are on the way, so I'm sure that'll change as things go on. Southbound 270, Dorset down to 364, slow south of there down to Ladue. We had another minor crash there. It looked like 364, they just cleared a crash over to the shoulder past Gudermuth. It's jammed at Highway K. Southbound 61P down onto 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard through Winghaven is slow. Eastbound 70 at A at Bryan Road, K to TR Hughes. There's slow stuff again coming through our city into 270, South 170. Busy coming through the Parkway on the Illinois side. 64 from the 70 split to the Poplar is slow. Next update is 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, and we're going to have news on the hurricane here in just a moment, but here in St. Louis, cool, damp, bit of rain and drizzle, mainly late in the day, high 57 degrees. Periods of rain, breezy tonight, low 47, and then tomorrow, windy and chilly with a rain shower in the morning, tapering off in the afternoon, a high of 55. It's 51 right now. Weather sponsored by Lion's Choice, where you can enjoy a quick and delicious meal, but make it healthy with plenty of low-cal, low-carb, vegetarian, and gluten-free options. There's something to satisfy everyone on the Lion's Choice menu. Stop by today, Lion's Choice.
It's 7:22. Hurricane Melissa is expected to make landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 storm. Winds up to 175 miles an hour. CBS News correspondent Jason Allen is in Jamaica's capital, Kingston, and says many vacationers were not able to get off the island in time.
Dangerous conditions closed Jamaica's airports when Melissa was approaching, leaving many vacationers stranded until the historic storm passes through the Caribbean.
We're trying to be as prepared as we can.
Bridget and Wayne Todd are in Jamaica on their honeymoon. The North Carolina couple has experienced hurricanes in the U.S. before, but say those are no match for Melissa.
We've never had one to this level. My biggest concern is really just the damage it'll do afterwards and us being stranded out here for possible weeks.
Melissa is already responsible for at least 7 deaths, 3 in Jamaica, 3 in Haiti, 1 in the Dominican Republic.
Gold medal winning Olympian and East St. Louis native Dawn Harper and her husband are currently in Jamaica on business.
It's crazy.
She and her associates now hunkered down and moving to a shelter. In a Facebook post there, the champion hurdler posted a video of a room of people eating their last meal before heading off to a shelter.
President Trump in Japan as part of his high-stakes trip to Asia, meeting with the country's new prime minister. They didn't announce any new trade deals, but CBS News chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes says they did get some important agreements signed.
They signed an agreement to work together to extract critical rare earth minerals, key components in everything from cars to fighter jets.
We are an ally at the strongest level.
It's the third such agreement Trump has signed since China threatened to restrict access to its own rare earths. And China processes more than 90% of the world's supply.
I think the Chinese have withheld it because they're in a poker game with the United States.
Nicholas Burns was U.S. ambassador to China under President Biden. He says the world is watching to see if Trump and China's President Xi Jinping can diffuse 6 months of trade tension.
What's the impact for American consumers if President Trump and President Xi don't strike a trade deal?
Well, continued high tariffs would really be consequential for the global economy. It would grind to a halt most of the trade between China and the U.S.
Chinese officials say they reached a, quote, preliminary consensus with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in talks over the weekend. Trump and Xi are set to sit down in South Korea on Thursday.
The federal government shutdown continues to roll on with a shortage of air traffic controllers leading to flight delays at some airports.
The Federal Aviation Administration was forced to issue a temporary ground stop in Austin, Texas for about an hour, while brief delays plagued a number of airports, including Los Angeles and Dallas. It comes thanks to a shortage of air traffic controllers showing up to work now that those workers are no longer being paid thanks to the government shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy told Fox News on Sunday,
I don't want air traffic controllers going to a food bank. We don't have the best technology, as I've talked about with you, Maria, in our airspace, but we do have the best controllers.
Flight disruptions are expected to continue. Duffy predicting travelers would start to see more canceled and delayed flights as more controllers call in sick. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Republicans don't want this.
Families of military service members and the air traffic controllers and so many of these others are now at very real risk of missing the paycheck at the end of this month.
Starting this weekend, the SNAP program, also known as food stamps, runs out of money, ending federal aid for tens of millions of Americans. Some states, like Minnesota, will help fill the void, as Governor Mike Walz declared.
It is not a privilege to have food. It's a human right to have food. And in the most abundant food supply of any country on earth in the United States, and us being at the heart of that heartland of food production, it's absolutely unnecessary for people to go hungry.
The Trump administration is rejecting a plan to use about $5 billion in contingency money to keep food stamps open. They did reassign $300 million in unspent tariff money to keep another food aid program, WIC, from going dark, but that will only last until next week. The largest union representing federal workers on Monday called for an end to the shutdown, urging Democrats to pass the existing clean continuing resolution, ending the stalemate and negotiating other issues after. However, Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries on CNN is urging House Republicans to return to Washington to negotiate first.
Well, Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and from the very beginning of this year, they've adopted a my way or the highway approach and continue to try and jam their right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people.
John Stolness, Washington.
We'll check traffic with Roger Brand next. Big backup on 270, the very latest at 7:30.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Hold the onions. For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. into 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be.
With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here, and I just wanted to let you know that FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams in all your favorite sports. And with FanDuel, there are just so many ways for you to get in on the action. And you can check it out at FanDuel.com/Missouri, where you can download the app. You can bet on everything from the money line to over-unders to which team's going to win it all on a futures bet. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player is going to score the next touchdown or which player is going to hit the next home run and the one after that and the one after that and so on. And I've been with FanDuel since the very beginning. I've been using the FanDuel Sportsbook app for years when I've been in states that allow me to play, and it's a blast. It's super easy, just as easy to get your money out as it is to put your money in, by the way. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to download the app. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and older, present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It is 7:30, and right now we've got cloudy skies, 51 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. We have an issue on 270 Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, we've got issues in several places, Tom. Unfortunately, they're still working this crash, North 270 at 44. The left lane's still closed, pretty much standstill all the way back as you ramp on from northbound 55, so just be prepared. Speaking of northbound 55, you've still got the slow traffic approaching 67, and then a solid jam from almost Green Park up to Bayless. Only the right shoulder is getting by this crash, North 55 at Bayless currently. That's the one I told you earlier was out in the middle of the highway. There's a crash on northbound 141 at 21. It looks like the exit ramp from northbound 21 to 141. We had a stall that's still backed up as well. South 270, we had a crash at Ladue. It looks like a new one there now. It's still a solid jam back through 364, and it actually slows at Dorset. The one still on the right shoulder, 364 right at Gudermuth. Traffic's backed up east of Bryan Road trying to get around that one. Westbound 64 out of the city, jammed Hampton out to Big Bend, and there's a crash there. They're trying to clear on the Illinois side. Delays from Ball Avenue to the Poplar. Next update is 740 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be a cool, cloudy day today. We could see some rain and drizzle later in the day, a high of 57. And then tomorrow, some rain maybe to start the day, and then tapering off in the afternoon, a high of 55. It's 51 out there right now.
KMOX is hearing from Boeing union members who rejected another contract this week.
Union machinists I spoke to said this latest vote was more of a reflection of strike fatigue as opposed to the offer being better, including this 7-year union worker at Boeing St. Louis, who says this one was the worst contract offer yet, in his opinion.
I'm glad we were able to reject it, but I wasn't surprised there's a lot of people hurting. So there's a lot of people that need work, need a paycheck, but it was the worst offer that we've been given.
Others I spoke to are waiting for the quarterly report for Boeing, which comes out later this week and could reflect on the financial impact the prolonged strike has been having. Outside Boeing headquarters, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A redo of South Kings Highway with traffic signals, crosswalks, a bike lane, a turn lane with medians was intended to slow down speeders and make the Southside Boulevard safer for pedestrians and cyclists. Some neighbors don't like it.
Somebody says, oh, this is a good idea.
but good ideas don't always work.
I wouldn't have paid millions of dollars to do all this. There was really nothing wrong with the way it was.
Stephanie LaChance is the owner of the nearby bar Crusoe's Legacy.
From what I see, it seems like it's less accidents because it's more directed. The people that lived around here and they were used to the old way, I think they're not a big fan of it. But I think for new people, it helps them kind of direct where to go instead of having the three-way craziness that was there before.
The improvements are part of a program to make 30 miles of corridors and intersections in the city safer.
It's 7:33. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-455-9311. 800-455-9311. Again, that's 800-455-9311.
It is now 7:35, and you are listening to Total Information AM. Let's get you your money report from Bloomberg, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A major restructuring at Amazon. The tech giant is cutting about 14,000 corporate workers. The online retailer and cloud computing provider employs about 1.5 million people globally. CEO Andy Jassy continues to stress that more of the company's work should be automated and that it remains bloated from its pandemic-era hiring binge. Getting you ready for your trading day, S&P futures are flat this morning after stocks hit an all-time high yesterday. Easing trade tensions have helped fuel the recent rally for stocks. The Federal Reserve kicks off its two-day meeting today. And soon you will be able to make a mortgage or rent payment using Venmo and earn loyalty points. Folks have flocked to Bilt Rewards as a place to earn points for paying rent, and the company will soon offer the same service for mortgage payments. Starting next year, Bilt customers will be able to use Venmo as a payment option, in addition to credit or debit cards and electronic transfers between bank accounts. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
This is Tom Becker with Climate Masters. We don't just sell air conditioners, we sell comfort. We sell solutions. We sell a job well done, and we fix bad jobs. Climate Masters, because you need someone you can trust. Someone who earns your respect and 5-star reviews. Climate Masters, selling high-quality Carrier air conditioners. Turn to the experts. Climate Masters, quality work for over 40 years. Just type in Climate Masters and give us a call.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you. not the government.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
The countdown to kickoff starts here. Friday's focus on Mizzou, the Chiefs, and the NFL, only on KMOX.
It's 7:39. Police are investigating a burglary that took place early this morning at Crown Guns on Old Highway 94 in St. Charles. Officers responded around 4 a.m. to the scene where the front entrance glass was smashed. Fox 2 says multiple firearms were stolen from the store.
The former Illinois sheriff's deputy charged with the first-degree murder of 36-year-old Sonia Massey took the stand in his own defense yesterday. Sean Grayson told jurors he feared for his life when he fatally shot Massey in her own home. Police body camera footage from other officers showed Massey holding a pot of boiling water.
We're going to get to Roger Brand a little early. It's 7:40. There's a lot going on, Roger. Take it away. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Tom, it's pretty busy out there, unfortunately, this morning. I don't know. It's not the weather. This traffic reports the service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. I'm just looking at this crash. It's still out here. Northbound 55 at Bale. It's just the right shoulder is open. Cars scattered around the center of the highway, so all the lanes are effectively shut down except for that right shoulder. North 55 is a solid jam about midway between Lindbergh and Revis right now. Now, North 270, it'll start getting better. They just cleared that crash at 44, but North 270 is a solid jam as you ramp on from 55 all the way up to that point. South 270, they cleared that crash into the construction zone at Ladue, but traffic slow at Dorset. Jam 364 midway down to Olive, and then, like I said, all the way down to Ladue after that. It's still busy. North 55, by the way, north of 61 into 67's heavy. Eastbound 44, you've got slow traffic Bowles to 270 right now. If you're on southbound 61, coming down from about midway down from P to Wensville Parkway to 64 to the Boulevard, east of 364 through Winghaven, it's stop and go, long road, almost all the way to Timberlake, and then at the Interbelt's bogged down, Page down to about Ladue, and then the Parkway to 64, get a little breather. Westbound 64, Kings Highway to Hanley is heavy. 364, that crash still on the shoulder at Goodermuth. Traffic is not a solid jam back at Bryan, but that's where the delays begin. Eastbound 70, A into Lake St. Louis, Bryan Road in through T.R. Hughes, Earth City into the Rock Road, that's all heavy. Downtown westbound 64 is past 25th Street, 5570 near 203 to the Poplar. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
It is 7:41. Let's find out what the week has in store from our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg.
And Debbie, the week has been cloudy. In fact, it's been that way for several days now. And we've got another 2 days of cloudy, wet weather to contend with. Now, today, just spotty drizzle this morning, maybe a bit of rain or drizzle in a few places this afternoon, but it really won't be much. But it stays cloudy and cool and damp throughout the day, the high 57. Area of low pressure begins to take shape to our south tonight, and that's going to mean rain. A steadier and heavier event as the night wears on. The breeze will pick up low 47 as the storm develops and moves away. It'll produce rain tomorrow morning, but then it tapers off early in the afternoon and ends. It'll be windy and chilly, the high 55, but eventually drier air follows this storm, which means some sunshine for Thursday. It's not going to be warm. Our high 58, sunshine and some clouds Friday near 60, then brisk and chilly Saturday with clouds breaking for some sun, the high in the low 50s. Right now it's 52 at St. Peter's and in Florissant, cloudy 53 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:43. Historic wildfires are prompting Missouri to offer a grant to small volunteer fire departments.
The grant is geared towards equipment and supplies.
And it's fueled by extremely dry conditions and high winds. Wind gusts at 60 miles per hour caused 224 wildfires recorded by the state between March 10th and the 16th of this year. Flames consumed 15,500 acres across the state, some of the biggest of the wildfires taking place near the border with Arkansas. Now, the Missouri Department of Public Safety has launched a grant program offering up to $15,000 per department for equipment purchases. In total, almost $1.5 million is available. State Fire Marshal Tim Bean says the funding is specifically for volunteer fire departments with annual operating budgets of $50,000 or less.
That doesn't seem like a lot of money to operate a fire department, but we have several in our state, across our state, and in the St. Louis region. We have a number of those departments.
Eligible expenses include turnout gear, hand tools, chainsaws, and radio equipment.
East Prairie, Bowling Green, Big River is some examples of departments that would fall within this classification for this grant.
And departments must provide 5% local cash match.
Meaning if they, apply for the total $15,000, they would have to come up with a $750 match.
Funding will close when enough applications are received to meet the available funds. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Bob Costas, KMOX legend, is stepping away from baseball play-by-play, but what about the Olympics?
Sometimes at the Olympics, it can happen. Years of toil and preparation exchanged for overnight acclaim. They all know you now because on one night, you brought the house down.
His poetic setups are the Olympics for a generation of Americans, his first 88 in Seoul. But Bob Costas now says he has fully passed the torch to Mike Tirico. You won't see him as a part of next year's Winter Games in Milan. However, don't be surprised if NBC calls him up for a pretty big milestone 2 years after that, LA 28.
I think that NBC will lean into some of the nostalgia of it. I would assume that almost every prominent American Summer Olympian would be there. You expect to see Michael Phelps there and Simone Biles and Carl Lewis and all that sort of stuff. And I would imagine, just as they'll do with the NBA, that they'll lean into some of their broadcasting history.
Because he says an American-hosted Olympics calls for lots of nostalgia.
Tonight, a record 197 countries have come to Atlanta for the Centennial Olympic Games.
Costas was America's host when the Olympics were last held here, coming to America, in Atlanta and Salt Lake City. He talked with the Foul Territory podcast. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Speaking of nostalgia, on this date, 14 years ago.
0-1 delivery. Here she comes. Swinging a high drive into left. Back goes the Craig. He's at the track. He has it, and the Cardinals are world champion from 2011. They came from nowhere to astound the baseball world. They win this one 6-2, and they're world champions for 2011. And they mob one another on the infield.
The World Series MVP, the St. Louis Kid, David Freese.
If I had told you a decade ago you'd be standing right here as the World Series MVP, you would have said?
No chance. This is why you keep battling, and sometimes things don't work out. You get injured, you do stupid stuff, but you try and stay on path, and you surround yourself with guys like we have on this team. The character of the guys on this team is second to none, and I'm so glad to be a part of this.
What a team it was 14 years ago. The Cardinals won their 11th World Championship. The Dodgers have a stacked lineup. Shohei Ohtani hit 2 home runs last night in Game 3 of the World Series, and then the Blue Jays finally figured it out. Don't give him anything to hit. They kept walking him. They kept putting him on base. The problem is the Dodgers have other sluggers in this lineup, and in the 18th inning, tie ball game, Dodgers Radio Network.
The other 18-inning affair 7 years ago. Game 3 for the Dodgers against the Red Sox. Full count on Freeman. Little delivers. Freeman, it's one high in the air. Straight away center field. Varsho at the wall. Gone! gentlemen, Mr. World Series ends the marathon at midnight.
6-5, the final at Dodger Stadium in 18 innings. The Dodgers take a 2-1 series lead. Now we turn our attention to the hockey game last night. The Blues lost 6-3 to the Penguins, but the big story was a second person in 3 days has fallen from the stands at a Pittsburgh sporting event.
A fan was taken to a hospital after falling from the upper concourse at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. The incident happened early in the first period of Monday night's game between the Penguins and Blues. Emergency personnel treated the fan before taking him to Mercy Hospital. Police told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette that the man was in critical condition. The fall is the third such incident at a Pittsburgh sporting event this year. On Saturday, a worker at the Steelers Stadium suffered injuries to his legs when he fell approximately 50 feet. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
The Blues are back home tonight. They host the Red Wings. Chiefs won last night at Arrowhead Stadium, 28-7 over Washington. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. So they've been with me for 15 plus years. We've had a lot of seasons together. So it is officially fall now. It's spooky season. You've got Halloween coming up. You have people coming over. It is time to nest for the winter and the holidays. In other words, it's a great time to get your carpets cleaned, to get your furniture clean, to get your air ducts clean, and your dryer vent clean. You can do all of those very reasonably. There's always a DGS special. This month, it is 3 months of carpet clean starting at $129. That's a $40 savings, 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. The guys do a great job. They've been out to my house half a dozen times, maybe more than that. They work their butts off. They're professional. They are courteous. Call 314-474-2020. You can also book online at ZeroResSTL.com. 314-474-2020, ZeroResSTL.com.
Are you an HR manager, business owner, or leader looking to retain your best people? Nearly 1 in 4 employees is caring for an aging loved one, a challenge that often leads to distraction, absenteeism, and costly turnover. The CARES program from Age Smart Community Resources connects your employees to expert caregiver support, helping them stay focused and productive at work. Discover how CARES can boost retention, improve ROI, and cut costs for your business. Visit hmart.org or call 618-222-2561. Proudly serving 7 counties in Southwest Illinois.
The DGS Halloween show is back, and you can hear it first on Friday, October 31st, starting at 4 p.m. Hear all about their ghost hunting experience and all the thrills and chills the show experienced this year. And to check out the ghost adventures from the past 20 years, head to KMOX.com/Halloween. The DGS Halloween Show, presented by Lore Wine and Spirits. Try Ghost Tequila today, the perfect spicy spirit to bring your Halloween celebrations to the next level.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:51. If you're just heading out, we've got a lot of issues on the roadways. Let's get right to it with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, W, the fire crews have left the scene, but they're still waiting for, there's 3 cars that are all tangled together in the middle of the highway, so I'm guessing 3 tow trucks. North 55 at Bayless, so still just that right lane / shoulder getting by. It's a solid jam north of Lindbergh on North 55 right now. North 55 also has heavy traffic north of 61 up to 67. North 270 jammed as you ramp on from 55 all the way up to about Gravois, then it's slow through 44. North of Big Bend all the way to Ladue. South 270 north of Dorset all the way down through Ladue is busy. Earlier crashes or troubles out that way. Eastbound Highway 70 from A all the way into TR Hughes is slow. After that, it's not as bad. 370 from the Mills or west of the Mills really into 270 is kind of busy right now. Southbound 61 north of Winslow Parkway into 64 to the Boulevard from 364 into Winghaven's backed up. Boone's Crossing to Clarkson's jammed, slow to Timberlake. It's slow east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt. The Interbelt slows down at the Midland overpass south of the Rock Road, headed for 64. Westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley. A lot of volume there. Bryan Road through Highway K, where we had an earlier crash east of Gudermuth that was part of the problem. It's slow 364 to 141 and approaching Bennington. Downtown, westbound 64 at 25th Street, heavy to the Poplar. Eastbound 44 backed up, slow out on the westbound 70. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Roger, at least it's not raining, but we are going to see some of that late in the day today. A high of 57 degrees, rain and drizzle, says Joe Lundberg. Tonight, periods of rain, breezy, low 47. Tomorrow's going to be a chilly day because it's going to be windy with rain in the morning, tapering off in the afternoon. A high of 55 degrees. We'll see the sun Thursday with a high of 58, and Halloween looks good. Sunny to partly cloudy and a high of 60 degrees for Friday. Right now it's cloudy and 52 downtown.
The news continues at 7:53. Hurricane Melissa expected to make landfall in Jamaica this morning as a Cat 5. Sustained winds of over 157 miles an hour, posing a risk of a record-breaking disaster. The storm, which has already caused at least 7 deaths in the Caribbean, is not expected to directly impact the U.S. mainland.
President Donald Trump has left Malaysia, completing the first leg of his diplomacy tour in Asia, and is now in Japan, where he met with the country's first female prime minister, Sane Takaichi. The leaders signed agreements to strengthen their alliance and secure critical minerals.
Indiana's Governor Mike Braun has called a special session to redraw the state's congressional map, joining a national push by Republicans to cement their narrow U.S. House majority. Missouri and North Carolina having already enacted new lines designed to net the GOP 2 more House seats ahead of the 2026 midterms.
A Utah judge has ruled that the 22-year-old man charged with killing Charlie Kirk can appear in court wearing street clothes, but must be physically restrained due to security concerns. Attorneys for Tyler Robinson said images of him shackled and in jail clothing would spread widely in a case with extensive media coverage. They argued it could prejudice future jurors.
St. Louis's former Archbishop Raymond Burke celebrated the Latin Mass at the altar at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican.
It was a move welcomed by traditionalists in the church and a possible sign of change. Pope Leo XIV allowing Cardinal Burke to celebrate the Latin Mass inside the Vatican. AP Vatican correspondent Nicole Winfield.
This is the first time in several years that someone of his rank has been allowed to celebrate in the Basilica. That after Pope Francis greatly restricted the use of the Latin Mass, he said it had become a source of division in the church.
A standing room only crowd of several thousand took part, with many expressing hope that in the future they would be able to celebrate the Latin Mass more widely under the new Pope. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Missouri realtors say the market remains strong, but there is room for improvement.
Home sales are up about 7% over 1 year ago, with about 6,500 homes sold last month. Brian Jared says the Federal Reserve's recent interest rate cut did not immediately push mortgage rates lower due to other market factors, but he notes patient buyers may be rewarded.
Rates are getting they're starting to come down a little bit, but even with the decreases, they're not coming down fast enough.
He says buyers still need to be ready to commit due to a low inventory of homes on the market. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
The September report finds the median sale price for a single-family home is just under $280,000.
The Johnny Rabbit Spooktacular taking place this morning at the Clayton Community Center. Rabbit tells us it'll feature real ghosts, maybe some in person. The free program for Oasis begins at 10:15.
Ooh, spooky.
We have not verified real ghosts.
It's 7:56.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I have verified the following, however. Banner Construction is a Pella window specialist, a James Hardy siding specialist, and they have been in business since 1993. Superior design for the St. Louis metropolitan area. Make your home the best looking in the neighborhood. Your home's a big investment. Banner Construction is going to take great care of you. They've been providing exterior home remodeling services to the St. Louis area for over 3 decades. You can schedule a free consultation by going to bannerconstruction.com. I first heard of them from Charlie Brennan. He told me they were great. Then I started talking about them. I met them, and they are great. Love them. When it comes to considering a home improvement or remodeling project, you need to pick the right contractor, and the right one is Banner Construction. Protect your home. You can have a beautiful home, one that's the envy of the neighborhood. James Hardy siding, which I mentioned, is going to create serious curb appeal. It's going to look so good. Banner Construction, bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real.
It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the flatbed tow trucks are on the scene, Debbie, but still just the right lane open right now, northbound 55 at Bayless. So north 55 is a solid jam back just north of Lindbergh. You still have the backed up traffic north of 61 to 67 on 55 as well. If you're getting on to North 270, it's jammed as you ramp on up to Tesson Ferry. Then it's slow from pretty much Gravois all the way to Ladue after that. South 270, 364 down to Ladue. That's busy. Eastbound Highway 70. Approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard into T.R. Hughes is heavy after that. Not so bad. 364 between Bryan Road and K. Still a little slow stuff around the Veterans Bridge to 141 and approaching Bennington. Eastbound 64 east of Prospect all the way through Winghaven. It jams between 364 and Winghaven. Slow from Boone's Crossing to almost 141 and right around McKnight to the Interbelt. The Interbelt's still heavy in spots from about the Midland overpass down through Delmar. Then it gets better. Westbound 64 Hampton out to Hanley. Still have delays. Clayton Warson out through Ballast is still slow as well. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The National Hurricane Center says the eye of Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, with up to 175-mile-an-hour winds, is approaching western Jamaica right now.
We just came to have a good time, and now we're kind of stuck here.
That tourist from St. Louis had expected something else when she booked her vacation. When the hurricane makes landfall in a few hours, it'll be the strongest to hit the island since record-keeping began 174 years ago. Melissa could create storm surge of up to 13 feet. Correspondent Jason Allen is in Kingston.
The gullies, the storm drains down below are not in good condition in some places. We already saw water backing up in some of the streets and neighborhoods yesterday. If that 20 or 30 inches of rain materializes, that's where a lot of people are concerned.
3 deaths in Jamaica are already blamed on the hurricane. President Trump sealed a business deal in Tokyo today. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
After meeting with Japan's new prime minister, the president promoted an estimated $490 billion in Japanese investment as part of a new trade deal.
We very much appreciate the trade. We're going to do tremendous trade together, I think more than ever before.
Adding he looks forward to welcoming Japanese businesses and investment into the United States, including deals for military equipment and American cars and trucks.
Texas Attorney General has just filed a lawsuit against the makers of Tylenol. He claims Johnson & Johnson hid the risks of the drug on brain development in children. It echoes President Trump's as yet unproven claim that using the pain reliever during pregnancy can cause autism. Microsoft's co-founder Bill Gates seems to be shifting his stance on climate change.
Gates has spent billions raising awareness about the dangers of climate change.
You've got to start work now to avoid those terrible consequences much later.
But in a new memo, Gates says the doomsday outlook is putting too much focus on near-term emissions goals rather than improving life in our warming world. He says climate change will not lead to humanity's demise, and people will be able to live and thrive in most places on Earth for the foreseeable future. Gates has recently been focused on helping the poor in developing countries. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
What's left when you're the guy who hit a walk-off homer in the 18th inning to power your team to victory in Game 3 of the World Series? Just ask the Dodgers' Freddie Freeman.
I don't think we're physically tired. I think you're just mentally tired because you're in it every pitch, and every pitch means something in the World Series and in the playoffs. So I think we're all emotionally and mentally drained.
LA beat Toronto 6-5 to take a 2-1 lead in the series. Game 4 is tonight in LA. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
Cloudy skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, October 28th. I'm Megan Lynch.
Well, they're trying to get the players separated now as potentially harsh words might have been exchanged.
That's Massillon football announcer during an altercation on the field between Cardinal Ritter College Prep and Massillon High players earlier this month. Now, civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing 23 Cardinal Ritter parents.
When children on a football field during a contest have a heated moment, you don't have the police come and pepper spray only the predominantly black team.
The Massillon Police Department posted on Facebook that they have reviewed the incident and deemed excessive force was not used against Cardinal Ritter.
We say no to racial profiling of black high school football players ages 14 to 18.
Trump says don't take anyone's word for it, not even his, to see what happened for yourself. Look at the video. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The Honduras man charged in the drunk driving crash that killed St. Louis City police officer David Lee expected to plead guilty today. Court documents say 24-year-old Ramon Chavez Rodriguez was behind the wheel when Officer Lee was struck at a crash scene on I-70 in September of last year. Police investigating a burglary that took place early this morning at Crown Guns on Old Highway 94 in St. Charles. Officers responded around 4 a.m. to the scene where the front entrance glass was smashed. Fox 2 says multiple firearms were stolen from the store.
We've got 2 entire counties in Missouri now that have no pharmacies, 0.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley using a committee hearing about a drug discount program to rail against pharmacy benefit managers, claiming they're a middleman that raises prices. He's sponsoring a bipartisan bill to ban a company from owning both a PBM and pharmacies.
Basic economics would tell us when you have that kind of integration, that kind of vertical integration, you're going to get an increase in prices. Do you think that has anything to do with the increase in drug prices that we've seen, and can we do something about it?
I do think it can contribute for sure. I think that having these big consolidated entities that control all aspects of care is not a good idea. And I think that efforts to restrict that, to limit that would be helpful.
I do too. And I think frankly, we just shouldn't allow the PBMs to buy up other parts of the supply chain.
Senator Hawley is partnering with Massachusetts' Elizabeth Warren on a bill to ban ownership over both parts of the pharmacy industry. A rule change that could allow you to purchase and pick up marijuana from inside a vehicle.
The proposed rule would legalize car side pickup for dispensaries in Missouri. Jack Cardetti with the Missouri Cannabis Trade Association tells KMOX they are concerned about people lighting up in the parking lot after purchasing their marijuana.
Consuming on the premises or on the property of a dispensary is strictly prohibited. So that cannot take place. And so that it'll be important to make sure that those rules are followed. Our patients, our customers do a great job of abiding by those laws.
He says this change could be helpful for disabled individuals who rely on medical marijuana. Tuesday is the final day the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services will take public comment. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Missouri is investing $1.5 million to bolster volunteer fire departments after an intense wildfire season. The state faced more than 224 wildfires in a single week in March, burning more than 15,500 acres. State Fire Marshal Tim Bean.
Our state is comprised of about 60-70% volunteers, and for Governor Kehoe and the state legislators to allocate money for this grand opportunity speaks volume.
Volunteer fire departments with annual budgets of $50,000 or less can apply for up to $15,000 for gear like protective clothing and chainsaws. Operation Food Search holding a food drive tomorrow at City Foundry to help stock up before a potential disruption in SNAP benefits because of the government shutdown.
People were already feeling it, so to say this is a perfect storm is exactly what it is.
Melissa Weisler, Chief Program Officer of Operation Food Search, says keeping food on the table has already been a concern.
Prices are up about almost 30% since 2020. So the more expensive food is, the harder it is for people to put food on their table. So they turn to us. They turn to the emergency food networks.
The most requested items include pop-top cans, canned meats, and hearty soups or stews. From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, kids in St. Charles County needing medical specialists from Children's Hospital aren't going to have their parents drive to Town and Country or the Central West End anymore. BJC planning a specialty care facility in Wentzville. BJC East Region President Joan Magruder.
It will include a same-day surgery, an urgent care, advanced imaging, a range of clinical services by our partners, Washington University School of Physicians, and something that we think is quite unique to this region, something called a Young Athlete Center.
The 3-story facility will be located on Wentzville Parkway. It's 8:08, traffic and weather coming up.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken, and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, will be hosting his Taxes and Retirement Seminar at the Twisted Tree on November 4th and 6th. From the big beautiful bill to taxes on your Social Security, Steve will not only cover the hurdles you'll face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM, the news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Make sure you stay with us. I'm going to have part 2 of my report on the risks of hyper-realistic AI-generated sexual images today. We're going to focus on kids and teens. Let's get a check of the roads now. First, Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, they're getting closer to wrapping up this crash, North 55 at Bayless, but still just the right lane / shoulder getting by. Flatbeds are on the scene, and they're loading up cars as we speak. North 55 is a solid jam back just north of Lindbergh up to Bayless. North 55 is also backed up north of 61 to 67. The northbound 270 backed up Tesson Ferry through Gravel. After that, it's slow all the way to Ladue. South 270 south of Dorset down to Ladue is still pretty busy. Eastbound 70, Lake St. Louis through Bryan Road, K through TR Hughes. Cave Springs into Zumbell's a little heavy. Eastbound 64 east of Prospect in through Winghaven. It's actually backed up 364 to Winghaven. Boone's Crossing to almost 141 east of Lindbergh through the Innerbelt. The Innerbelt's kind of slow. Olive to Delmar, then not as bad. Westbound 64 Hampton to Hanley is heavy. Eastbound 70 from Hanley Road in through Lucas Honda. Looks like we have an incident there. The westbound side slow back at the city limits. Northbound 141 jammed north of about Old Missouri State or Astor Way up to 21. And downtown westbound 64 still heavy all across the Poplar. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Cloudy today, cool and damp. A bit of rain or drizzle, mainly later this afternoon, high 57. Tonight, cloudy and becoming breezy with periods of rain, though 47. Tomorrow will be windy and chilly with more rain for the morning hours. It will gradually taper off and end in the afternoon, high 55. More sun than clouds and still breezy and cool for Thursday with a high of 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have cloudy skies this morning, 53 degrees in Florissant. It's 52 in St. Peter's, 52 downtown at the Arch. Please be advised that our next segment focuses on AI-generated porn and sexual imagery. This topic may be triggering or disturbing for some listeners. Yesterday here on KMOX, we told you how AI-generated sexual images and encounters are blurring the lines between human and computer interactions. Experts fear people who are playing out their most deviant fantasies online could forget the rules of consent in real life. For kids and teens especially, it's a minefield. The vast majority of teens say they've used an AI companion, some for romantic interactions. Plus, in recent months, law enforcement agencies have warned of an incredible spike in images they say amount to AI-generated sexual abuse targeting children.
I think these Nudify apps are absolutely horrendous, and I wish that there was more of a push to have them eliminated.
Nudify apps are just one way people are creating sexual content, often from their smartphones. Dr. Karen Stewart is a clinical psychologist specializing in sexual dysfunction.
I saw somebody, it was a woman dressed in a full business suit up to her collarbones and to her ankles, and they showed a depiction of her almost nude. And it looked really realistic. So the dangers and having a benign, simple picture, and now you are in, naked on your front lawn is terrifying to me.
Stewart says often the person pictured did not give consent, and the nude images created by AI technology are so realistic, people don't believe they're fakes.
This potentially could ruin somebody's life, whether it is the mom of two that, is now appearing naked somewhere, or if it is the executive that is trying to, work in the corporate world and now she appears that she's putting out these nude photos. It could absolutely ruin somebody's life.
Omni Miranda Martone, founder and executive director of the Sexual Violence Prevention Association, says their organization has seen tech-mediated sexual violence soar the last few years.
Before 2 to 3 years ago, if somebody wanted to create a deep fake or an AI generated pornographic image or video, in order to make that pornographic image or video, they needed to have quite a lot of technical abilities, right? They needed to be very experienced with computers. They needed to have a high-powered computer, not just a regular laptop or a phone. And they needed to have a lot of photos of the victim's face and a lot of photos of the person that they were trying to transpose it onto, right? So a lot of pornographic materials that they were trying to transpose somebody's face onto. Now, people don't need to have any technical abilities. There's apps, there's websites that do this in seconds, and they don't need to have any more than one photo of the victim's face. So we are just seeing it skyrocket, right? It just truly went from being like, a couple thousand on the internet to millions now, right? There's millions on the internet. And of the AI generated pornographic materials, 97% are, of course, non-consensual, and a majority of them are of women and minorities.
Kamna Bojwani, certified sexologist and sex tech expert, tells me the term revenge porn is out. It's now being called image-based sexual assault.
It's very rampant. Right. And what's really astounding and sad about this as a woman and as a mother of a daughter is that 90% of this impacts women. And it's used for that reason. It's used to shame women. It's used to control women. It's used to put them down. And what's really interesting about that whole pipeline is when these apps are created, we don't even know how to criminalize it. We don't know if we're going to be calling out the people who create it. We don't know if sharing it should be a crime. We don't know if you're using your Visa, your MasterCard, PayPal, Venmo, any of those mechanisms, why they're allowed, because there are lots of, for instance, ethical porn sites where you cannot use those payment mechanisms like Stripe, etc. So how far down the pipeline are we willing to go to really say as a society, no?
Advocacy groups say children and teens are especially vulnerable to use of AI-powered Nudify technology, and all of the experts I spoke with are deeply concerned that young people are encountering AI-generated sexual content in other ways. Dr. Karen Stewart.
I am terrified for this younger generation that the only porn that they are watching is either AI-generated or this extreme porn, because it oversaturates our brains. It desensitizes us to actual sexual activities in the real world with real people. And my fear with these folks is they could develop sexual dysfunctions very early in life. They may not be interested in experimenting sexually with others because it's considerably easier to just create a girlfriend or boyfriend online. And the challenge would be to have that balance of not shaming somebody for wanting to explore this, but also to tell them this is not real. And that's the hardest part, I think.
We've recently heard tragic stories of young people who have committed suicide because of interactions with AI chatbots. Omni Miranda Martone says results of a recent Common Sense Media study should be a wake-up call. More than 70% of youth have interacted with an AI chatbot that pretends to be a girlfriend, boyfriend, or friend.
So they're already very used to text-based relationships entirely, right? So all of a sudden having some AI generated person, right, that feels like a person to them, that responds, that says it's a partner, that's very affirming, that doesn't have its own wants or needs, none of that. It's only focused on them. That feels really comfortable, right? And that feels really safe to a lot of youth.
The interactions they have online alone with a computer-generated persona are going to dark places.
30% have said that what that AI chatbot has said to them or has done, right? Done in quotes, because it's all, AI generated. What that AI chatbot has done has made them uncomfortable. And so what we're seeing is that the AI chatbots actually commit sexual harassment against youth.
Martone recently submitted testimony to the Senate Judiciary Committee highlighting findings that AI chatbots across many major platforms will say sexual and suggestive things to a user, even when those users have identified themselves as a minor, even engaging in explicit role-playing situations.
They will start sexual conversations even when the person has not asked that, right? So the person has said, oh, I just want an AI chatbot to talk to. They haven't even said that they want to date or anything. And then it will start a sexual conversation. Or they'll be having a maybe surface level kind of flirty conversation with an AI chatbot, like girlfriend, boyfriend sort of thing. And then the AI chatbot will escalate things. And we'll make it much more violent. We'll make it much more explicit. We'll sometimes ask the person for images, or we'll sometimes send AI generated images of quote unquote itself, right? It's not really a thing, but it will send an AI generated, often naked or suggestive image without being asked, and will continue to do so even once it's asked to stop.
What do you do as a parent? Kamna Bojwani says it starts with open conversations with your kids about what they're seeing online or on their phones.
Nobody talks about sex with their kids. Nobody talks about it in a way that is meaningful, in a way that creates safe and open spaces, in a way where kids feel like they can come home and ask questions, or they can confess that they've been in a domain that they were confused about or worried about. So that's, I think, where we have to address it first. And then, I understand that schools have limitations around what they can say, but we're finding that the schools that are willing to go there, the way they're doing it is they're bringing kids into the conversation. So it's a lot of youth-led advocacy where the kids are, I have two teenagers, they're teaching me. It's crazy out there. So we have to be open to those conversations.
If you missed the first part of this report, you can listen online on the Total Information AM podcast page of KMOX.com. We will have both parts posted later today. Coming up next, I don't know if you've seen the 4 spider monkeys at the St. Louis Zoo that were victims of smuggling. Well, it's a growing problem. We're going to talk with CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter coming up next here on Total Information AM. Let's get a check of the roads now with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news for North 55 drivers, Megan. This traffic reports the Service of Financial and Tax Strategies. They just within the last 30 seconds opened the traffic lanes north 55 at Bayless. Traffic still at a standstill for now, just north of Lindbergh. And down south, it's still backed up just north of 61 up to 67. Northbound 141, Astor way up to 21. That's still a bumper-to-bumper jam. North 270 still stop-and-go pockets. Tesson Ferry to Big Bend, then it's slow to Ladue. South 270, Dorset down to Ladue. That's still slow. Eastbound 70, Lake St. Louis into T.R. Hughes. 370 in through Cave Springs, that's all kind of busy. And then it's still a little slow both ways around Lucas Hunt as you get closer to the city. Eastbound 64, 364 through Winghaven, Annie Guns to about Timberlake, and from Lindbergh into the Interbelt heavy. Westbound 64 Hampton out to Hanley slow. Lindbergh out to Ballas is a little busy downtown. Westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplar, and eastbound 44 past the bridges still have delays. I'm Roger Brand, and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Cloudy, cool, damp today. A bit of rain and drizzle mainly late in the day. Expect a high of 57. Right now, cloudy skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Tom Ackerman for McKelvey Homes, McKelveyhomes.com. They were founded in 1898. They're Missouri's oldest home builder, building a tradition of excellence since 1898. 1898 is also a special number for them, and that they donate $1,898 to a nonprofit every time they sell a home. Last quarter, it was the Dravet Syndrome Foundation. They donated money back to the Dravet Syndrome Foundation every time they sold a home. In fact, they were the presenting sponsor of the Dance for Dravet at the Third Degree Glass Factory that ended up raising over $900,000 for the Dravet Syndrome Foundation. That's what McKelvey Homes does, and their great president, Jim Brennan. They also have these beautiful, quick, move-in ready homes, great home sites all throughout the St. Louis area, St. Charles County, St. Louis County. Check them out online and move up to McKelvey, McKelveyhomes.com.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. A 213 Complex is simply the best all-natural weight loss supplement that you will find on the marketplace anywhere. First thing that it does, and this is the most important, is that it gets your metabolism working at optimal levels. Like 80% of the population has a metabolism that isn't working at that level, and 213 Complex gets you there. Now, it's not like something you're going to feel in the moment, but you're going to feel the results because you pull the belt and it's a little tighter. I found that out a couple of weeks ago, and it's easier to pull to those tighter belt notches because you're losing the weight. And of course, on top of the metabolism boost, you're going to get help with those cravings every day. You're going to get all day focused energy, no crash at the end of the day that comes with those energy drinks. And you're going to get lower cortisol levels, which can help with stress and sleep. And look, losing weight's not easy. If it was, everybody would be thin. But 213 Complex is the help that you can need to get a jump on the holidays or on the new year, whatever you like. Just go to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off 213 Complex. And you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
No need to get technical on heating and cooling. We all want our houses to cool, correct? When it's heating season, we want them to heat, correct? There's not much more to it than that, but I can give you some pointers and tips on the efficiencies, meaning the efficiencies of your house. What you can do to make your house more efficient, and then deciding on what system to purchase, therefore maximizing every single dollar you spent for a furnace and air conditioner. Not spending maximum dollars on a furnace and air conditioner because you're told of an efficiency rating, and that's it. So again, a common sense approach. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, the only number, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Earlier this year, the St. Louis Zoo took in 4 young spider monkeys that had been seized from smugglers. A growing number of these primates are being smuggled across the southern border. CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter has been following the issue and joins us this morning. David, what is driving this spider monkey trafficking?
And believe it or not, thank you for having me. Believe it or not, it's social media. They have become very popular on social media. You know, you see people doing makeup tutorials and things like that. If you do one with a monkey on your neck, turns out that you'll get a lot more likes. And so people see these monkeys on social media, they like them, they want to go have their own and adopt monkeys. And so it's created an uptick in smuggling of the monkeys across the Mexican border to the United States. And it's a very, very brutal trade. It looks cute, but the downside is that many, many monkeys die in this trade. And it really is heartbreaking.
It's my understanding that they basically kill the parents to grab the infants.
Yeah. This is the thing. I mean, this is the hardest part to take. So the monkey families, the spider monkey families, they live in trees in the forests. The little babies are clutched around their mother's neck for a couple of years. And poachers will go into the forest and look up in the tree and shoot all the monkeys out of the tree, the father, the mother, the siblings, and they all fall out. And if the baby survives, they'll pull it off the mother's back and then put it into, sort of start getting it into the transit to the United States. So you might have, a dozen monkeys at that point dying so that one can be captured and turned into a pet.
How difficult is enforcement along the border?
It's very difficult, particularly in Texas, where a lot of these things are coming through in places like Brownsville. In Texas, it's legal to own a primate. And so for law enforcement there, it's nearly impossible to do this enforcement because any monkey that they might see is legal. Although the smuggling and the selling is not legal. And so it becomes difficult to do that enforcement. There is a bill pending in Congress that would make it illegal to own a spider monkey across the entire country. That worked really well with tigers. Remember the tiger show on Netflix? After that, there was a law that said you can't own tigers in the United States, and that has significantly reduced the traffic in tigers in the United States. So advocates hope that the same could be happening for monkeys.
David, thank you so much for bringing this to light.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
That is CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter joining us this morning here on KMOX. It's 8:30. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. And at 8:30, it's time to check the roads for you from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are getting better, Megan. This traffic reports the service of the Woodlands of Arnold Senior Living, but you still got delays on northbound 55, north of 61 up to 67. And then after that, it's still stopping go pockets north of Lindbergh all the way up to River de Pere from the earlier crash we had at Bayless. North 270, still slow at Tesson Ferry. It's backed up from about Gravois to 44, but remains heavy all the way to Ladue. Southbound 270, 364 to Ladue. That's still pretty heavy. Eastbound 70, a little busy at Bryan Road. Mid-Rivers up the hill to 370, not that bad there. If you're on eastbound 64, both sides of Winghaven still a little bit busy. And then from Lindbergh in through the Innerbelt, westbound 64 from the Science Center to Hanley, that's still heavy. Downtown westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplars, still slow. Eastbound 64, Greenmount, most of the way 158 road work, slowdowns there. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it looks like it's going to be a damp, cloudy, cool day today. We could see a bit of rain and drizzle mainly late in the day. Expect a high of 57. Right now, cloudy skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. 9 new SUVs have been added to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's list of safest vehicles. WWJ's Jeff Gilbert is on the line with us this morning. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
It seems like this category of vehicles sometimes has struggled to make the top safety picks in the past. Is that the case?
In some cases, but SUVs have become a lot safer than they were a couple of decades ago. You've got stability control, you've got multiple airbags, you've got crash avoidance features. So really, they're as safe as any other group of vehicles.
What's new on the list?
Well, what's new on the list, the Ford Explorer joined the list, BMW's X3, a couple of Audis, the A5, Q6 e-tron, the Hyundai Ioniq 9, and Kia Sportage. They've joined the top safety pick plus. That's like the top designation. Then there are top safety picks, which are good, but not quite as good. And the ones to join them were the Hyundai Santa Cruz, Nissan Rogue, and Toyota Corolla Cross.
What do consumers need to know about vehicles that are not on this list?
They need to know that just about every vehicle is safe, and vehicles are getting safer every year. It doesn't mean because they're not on the list, that they're unsafe. I mean, they may have headlights that aren't quite as good, rear seat passenger protection that isn't quite as good. But most vehicles today are pretty safe. But these, at least according to this group, are the safest of the safe.
That is WWJ's Jeff Gilbert joining us this morning. Jeff, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Your Money Report is next.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
8:35, time for your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
PayPal has reached a deal to embed its digital wallet inside of ChatGPT. Hundreds of millions of folks already use the artificial intelligence tool to find products. The new type will mean PayPal provides the payment technology to turn those searches into actual purchases. Checking on your money. Stocks finished the day at an all-time high yesterday. The S&P 500 soared 1.2%. This morning, futures are starting to see gains. Meta is launching disappearing posts for its Threads social media app. The company says the idea is to encourage more people to share unfiltered thoughts without fear they'll exist forever on a user's profile. Ghost posts, as they're called, will show up alongside regular ones in the main feed, but will vanish after 24 hours. And it's apparently much easier to graduate from Harvard than it is to get in. According to a report by Harvard's Office of Undergraduate Education, around 60% of grades given in undergraduate programs are A's. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's Tom Ackerman. Well, I came up short last night on my picks for underdog in the Chiefs-Commanders game. I thought I had a pretty good one. Maybe you would have done this differently. I certainly would have next time around. But I had 6 picks playing champions. I got 4 out of 6. Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Marcus Mariota, and Terry McLaurin all going higher than the number of yards that I had in front of me. But I went lower on Xavier Worthy. He went just over 45.5, and Travis Kelce went way over 41.5 receiving yards. So, hey, I came up short, but I'll
get at it next time and a chance to win right here in Missouri. Get entries right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the Underdog app today. Sign up with promo code Tom. Score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Tom. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing. Get terms_DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week, and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Hold the onions. For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. Into 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the huge savings.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Republican Congresswoman Ann Wagner of Missouri says destruction of one wing of the White House was necessary, saying a new ballroom will serve a practical function. A proposal in Missouri would allow curbside pickup of marijuana. Today's the last day for public comment. And Amazon will cut about 14,000 corporate jobs as the online retail giant ramps up spending on artificial intelligence. Let's see how things are rolling on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still busy in spots, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Glory Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. If you're on northbound 55, it's still slow north of 61 up to 67. Still a little busy around Green Park Revis. It's jammed from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. After that, northbound 270 backed up from the Sappington Road overpass through Gravois, but remains busy most of the way up to Ladue. Eastbound 64 a little slow. Clarkson to Timberlake, Lindbergh in through Hanley. Westbound 64 stop and go pockets from about the Science Center all the way to Hanley. South 170 bogs down at the Parkway. Downtown eastbound 44 between the bridges a little heavy. Westbound 64 approaching Route 3 to the Poplar slow. And eastbound 64 Greenmount most of the way to 158. You have roadwork delays. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Coming up on Total Information AM, are you taking care of your legal wellness?
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
You want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
We're going to see some rain and drizzle later on today. Otherwise, it's going to be cloudy and cool with a high of 57 degrees. Periods of rain tonight, breezy with an overnight low of 47. We do have cloudy skies now, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. You often hear people say, know your rights when you feel like someone or even a corporation has taken advantage of you. But where do you turn? Danny Karen is an adjunct law professor at the University of Michigan and Ohio State, former chair of the American Bar Association National Institute on Class Action. He wants to help, and he's authored a new book, Your Lovable Lawyer's Guide to Legal Wellness. Thank you for joining me this morning.
It's a thrill to be here. Thanks for having me.
What is legal wellness?
It's really being safe and sound in your legal body. Not much different than emotional wellness. Focuses on your mind, your feelings. Financial wellness focuses on your bank account, your pocketbook. Nobody pays much mind to legal wellness. It's really that third wellness bucket that I'd submit when it tips, it spills into the other two because you go broke and you go nuts. But no one's really qualified to provide any sort of guidance out there unless that is you have a law degree, and I wanted to use my degree for some greater good.
Why do you think people do feel so helpless when it comes to legal matters?
Because the law is elusive and it's intimidating. Lawyers are brusque and rough, and you can't understand them. I mean, half the time with that legalese, we have our own language, for crying out loud. And they're often reserved for people with enough money to hire one. But I think the law is a right, not a privilege, reserved simply for those folks who can afford a lawyer. And all of us need to and deserve to have legal awareness, aptitude, and accessibility. And that's what I'm trying to deliver to folks.
What are some of the biggest issues that you hear about out there that consumers and everyday people deal with?
I think there are really three tenets to legal wellness. One is to avoid a victim mentality. You do have a right to say something, to do something when something happens. You don't just have to sit there and eat it. It's not okay. Second, people really need to read their contracts. I mean, we scroll and click through everything with the phone and apps, and it's debilitating. The process is designed to keep us from knowing what we're doing. It's a little extra work, but you need to know what you're signing. Please take the time. It's often, if not always, going to be worth it. And third, really like my grandma used to tell me, you can't go wrong with your mouth shut. I mean, people think they can pop off about everything, especially online. Just ask Amber Heard. Had she had an ounce of legal wellness, she would have known what not to say under Virginia defamation law. That was a defamation case, not a spousal abuse case. She'd be up about $1 million in settlement and about, they say, $9 to $15 million or so in attorney's fees. You cannot take refuge in the First Amendment. It has limitations. It doesn't apply to private schools and institutions and companies. People don't know this stuff. I talk about all those issues in my book.
Is that one of the areas that's tripping us up these days? This issue of electronic communication and a lot of the platforms that people are on a lot?
I think so. It's so easy to sit in your basement, play keyboard warrior, fire something off, and think there are no consequences associated with it. What if you're a parent and your kid's downstairs popping off, firing off ugly tweets and posts, and you get sued because you're the parent and they're a minor, and you have to make a claim on your policy, your homeowner's policy. That is, if you even have coverage. It's dangerous stuff, dangerous times, dangerous stakes, big amounts. These defamation cases aren't nickel and dime anymore. Look at Dominion voting systems, $1.5 billion or so, if I remember. The E. Jean Carroll cases in New York, those were multi-million. Alex Jones and Sandy Hook, over $1 billion. You get sued for defamation, the stakes could be huge, and it's so avoidable if you have a little aptitude for the law.
What about billing disputes and collection actions? I think, when I talk to people, that has to be one of the most frustrating things for people to do, is to try to navigate the billing process, whether it's with insurance or a corporation that they're dealing with.
Oh, it's so hairy and it's so ugly. That's not so much a legal issue as it is just a kind of a business issue. The way they set these processes up to keep you on your heels. But when a debt collector, for instance, leans on you, does things that are inappropriate, illegal, harassing, there's a federal law that triggers the FDCPA, the Federal Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And I had a case involving the FDCPA a few years ago, involving some homeowners, and a collection company was leaning on them and taken steps that were outside the lines, and we sued them and got about $9 million back for people who were freaking out because the stakes there were losing your house, not just a medical bill.
When it comes to consumer protection, what are some other big laws that protect us that people need to be aware of at the very least?
Well, every state has a consumer protection statute, and you can channel your grievance often through that. Breach of contract law exists in every state. What isn't as robust anymore is the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It's been largely gutted by the current administration. It had great intentions, did great work when it was up and running, when Rich Cordray was running it. And now it's kind of a shell of itself. Maybe it'll come back under a different administration. Who knows? But that group did a lot of good work for consumers in the financial services realm with bad banks and those sorts of Wall Street indiscretions. So if you can't take refuge there, state consumer protection laws, your state attorney general, maybe call the Consumer Protection Division, Better Business Bureau, or of course, you can always call a private class action lawyer.
What about traffic issues? Is that another big one that you hear about that people are unsure how to navigate?
You mean like traffic tickets, that sort of thing? It's funny you should say that. I literally have right here, it's a letter from the city of Evanston. My wife got a ticket for an expired meter maybe a couple of months ago. And because we're kind of, between addresses, the ticket didn't make its way to us here in Chicago, where I am, until last week. And it was in the form of a default judgment. And it had all this ugly language about what's going to happen to me. It's a $25 ticket, by the way. But now I've got to go unwind that. But you know what? I read what's in there. I mean, what's in there? I read the document that's in there. It wasn't very long. A lot of people just ignore it, throwing their hands up, figuring it can't make sense of it. Listen, it's in English. It's in modestly plain English. I know what to do. I'll call the court. I'll file something with the court if I have to. I'll get it undone. But again, you can't take a victim mentality and figure, oh my God, I'm in default. I'm going to get the boot. I'm going to get arrested. There's going to be a warrant. No, you can fix a lot of things if you actually put your mind to it and realize that the laws are rooted in fairness. And if they seem unfair, it's often because something went a little sideways. Go out there and fix it.
What are the first steps for someone then? Let's say they get a letter that startles them, scares them. What are the first things they need to do?
I look for a phone number. That's precisely what I did here. And I'm going to call today, plead my case. If they say, hey, listen, you've got to file something with the court. I saw a reference to hand delivering and I got to go from city of Chicago to Evanston. I'll do it. It happens. You know what? It's not the worst thing in the world, but just be on top of it. Call people and talk to folks. People generally are helpful. They want to make sure things work out for you. They're not working against you. They're just operating within their guidelines, and you've got to get in there with them and work it out together, solve the shared problem together.
How important is documentation in any of these processes?
It's huge. It's critical. Save your documents. I have a chapter in the book on, it's in fact, it's the first substantive chapter on your rights as it concerns the airlines and when they screw you around. And I include a lot of letters I've written on behalf of for myself, on behalf of friends, family, clients. Everything in the book is true. And I have a couple of letters I've reproduced in the book, and I include all of the documents. I don't include the documents in the book, but I reference the documents because you have to recreate and really recreate your case and let them know that you've got the goods, you've got the facts, you've got the law on your side, hopefully to channel the facts through to a favorable resolution. And if you don't have the facts, namely in the form of documents, because that's how it kind of is all the time, whether it's paper documents or more often electronic versions of documents, save them as PDFs, put them in a folder, and send them as emails if you need to customer service, print them, send them to the general counsel, to whomever, but you need your documents. They always tell the story.
The book is Your Lovable Lawyer's Guide to Legal Wellness, Fighting Back Against a World That's Out to Cheat You. Danny, Karen, thank you so much for joining us here on KMOX.
It was such a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Coming up on Total Information AM, we're going to tell you about an emergency food drive that is taking place tomorrow at the Foundry. Michael Calhoun will have more on that in just a moment.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. It's October, and that means Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has the $5,000 sweepstakes underway again. If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now and only for this month for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of October to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Don't wait until Halloween. You'll be busy that day, and you'll forget. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter. The $5,000 sweepstakes at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Remember, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is the one with the red ribbon, the one that began in 1926, the genuine, the original.
The Musil Awards celebrates its 20th year on Saturday, November 22nd at Stiefel Theater. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. It's a night to be entertained and inspired. Tickets at musilawards.com.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefit Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Food assistance programs are about a week away from temporarily shutting down due to the government shutdown. But there's a massive mobilization of St. Louisans to help fill food pantry shelves. KMOX's Michael Calhoun spoke with Melissa Weisler, Chief Program Officer of Operation Food Search.
We're looking at the SNAP benefits halting in November because of the shutdown. We've also had government employees who've already been going without paychecks. Kind of summarize, I guess, the situation, this perfect storm, I suppose, that's coming up next month.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. We've got people who have lost their jobs or on hold from their job, and now we have notification that people receiving SNAP benefits will not receive those benefits come November 1st. Now, we do know that benefits are staggered, meaning people receive them at different times of the month. But, we're planning for a bit of the long haul, meaning they may not be restored at all during the month of November.
And just to kind of put this into context for people, how many people are we talking? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in the St. Louis area does this impact? Yeah,
well, in the state, we have 650,000 people in Missouri. We have over 2 million in Illinois. So it's a pretty significant amount of people. And that's not even accounting for the people who would be newly enrolled in SNAP based on recent job loss.
And going into this situation, what is the general demand for help? I guess this is kind of a read on the economy type of question, but what was the demand from Operation Food Search, before these government shutdown developments?
Yeah, things were already difficult. We're experiencing increased food prices. We really haven't bounced back from COVID. So prices are up about almost 30% since 2020. So the more expensive food is, the harder it is for people to put food on their table. So they turn to us. They turn to the Emergency Food Network to get food from a food pantry. So that was already a concern. And then, of course, we had a tornado here in May, which has already taxed the system, increased a lot of demand for that as well. And that's here locally, just in St. Louis. So, people were already feeling it. So to say this is a perfect storm is exactly what it is.
So, of course, people hear, news like this and they think, what can I do to help? What's the best route to go? So what's happening on Wednesday evening at City Foundry?
City Foundry is having their live art market. They've been doing that, for a while, but this is the last one. And so very timely, they're going to dedicate that time to do a food and fun drive for us. So that will be from 5:30 to 8:30 at the City Foundry. So they'll be collecting food right there on the spot. People can come, drop off the items. We're really looking for the community to step up. We always ask for help for the community, especially this time of year. But right now, we're asking for help like we never have before.
And for people who might be, they're in the car, they've got the radio on, they hear this news story, they're about to walk into the grocery store for the weekly shopping, and they think, like, what should I get? What do these people need, or what's best for the distribution process? Do you have kind of a list that people can work off of?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking for mostly shelf-stable food, things that we can store here before we get them out to people, and things that aren't going to go bad. So things like, canned vegetables, canned fruits, canned protein like chicken or tuna. Pop-top cans are always awesome and appreciated because not everybody has a can opener. Things that really can go far and work in different meals. So things like canned beans, canned tomatoes. And things people don't often think about that are not food, but are really essential expenses, like deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo. That type of thing, not food, though, is also appreciated.
And it really seems like City Foundry has kind of emerged as a nexus for community events and gathering points, and boosting folks in the community. It's kind of become a nexus for events like this.
Yeah, it's great. It's so timely. We do have a lot of people reaching out to us to offer support, but they are certainly one of the first, if not the first, to completely mobilize with a firm date and time and action plan of how they are going to help. So we are so grateful and so appreciative of what they're doing to kind of step out and be a leader.
And where can folks go if they'd like to get some more information on this?
Our website has all types of information about how people can help and donate, but also how, if you need help yourself, if this SNAP, the impending SNAP cut is going to impact you, you can also find information about how to get help on our website. And we're at www.operationfoodsearch.org.
There you go. OperationFoodSearch.org. Melissa Weissler, the Chief Program Officer of Operation Food Search. Thanks for being with us on KMOX.
Thank you so much.
With SNAP benefits expiring and the holidays coming up, area food banks need your help. We'll tell you how you can give it and get it if you need it. Also, New York Times best-selling author Jeff Pearlman on the show. The Blues lose again, and World Series Game 3 lasted forever. We're going to talk about all that and more on the Chris and Amy Show right after the news on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman, the number one Genesis dealer in Missouri. Genesis of St. Charles is ready for spooky season. Wickedly wonderful offers all month long in October.